I'd like to call the Northwood Board of Selectmen meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call, Donald Huston here.
Beth Boudreaux here.
Scott Boudreaux is here, but running a little late.
Scott Breyer.
Wow. It's already, it's going to be a long night. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we're gonna do non-public first, and then come back out and do citizens forum after, because we got an appointment right at 6 o'clock.
We do.
So would you like to make a motion?
That's what they told me they like.
Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to go into non-public under RSA
And we're going in
91.
at the end as
Yeah, half an
well.
hour, maybe.
RSA 91A3:2, A, B, and C,
And I would add E to that.
and E.
Last minute information today.
A second.
Roll call, Donald Huston. Aye.
3 minutes in the round of opening comments.
Yeah, we're gonna do it after.
They can't stay.
They have a meeting downstairs too.
When you come back up, I can entertain it.
Why don't we take opening comments?
But you got 3 minutes.
It's like
Go ahead.
3 minutes.
Go ahead.
So why don't we, I will reverse my
We
motion.
haven't even taken a vote yet, so she.
Yeah, I know,
So
so,
we're in public.
so there's no motion, so it's still in.
What do you have, Ginger?
I did. I try. Couple of formal requests from the Budget Committee. Number one, in relation to the soon-to-be proposed public safety building, I've had several Budget Committee members request the opportunity to go and visit both of the fire stations as well as the police station to help them better understand what the needs are and what the current status of all three stations are. I'm hoping that that can be arranged for a Saturday or Sunday afternoon perhaps before the 1st of December, because the 1st of December is the town's work session with the Budget Committee, and that's one of the first things that we're going to be reviewing. So I think it would be extremely helpful, and like I said, I've had several requests. I haven't put out an email asking anybody who's interested, please let me know, but I'd like to set up a date and time, and then I can let the rest of the committee know if you're interested in going to see why we need this. This is when it's going to happen, so that they don't have to try and make separate arrangements, which is virtually impossible.
So that's 2 weekends, November 17th or 25th.
Right.
That's right after Thanksgiving.
So if you guys could think about that and whatever, and
Fire
either
departments, both
both stations as well as the PD, which is going to take some coordination between staff, obviously, but, and I was kind of thinking we could hit the ridge
Yeah.
first, come down to the PD, and then get down to the Narrows and do it in one fell
Should
swoop.
make the request.
Yeah. So the Budget Committee is requesting that, so basically, as long as the Board of Selectmen approves that the Budget Committee can do that, Linda, which is your Budget Committee administration, could set that up if the board is in agreement to.
I'm okay with, I'm okay with I'll make a motion to grant the Budget Committee's request as long as they make the arrangements for the meet.
Okay,
So you work through,
I'll work
your
through
board
Linda
administrator.
and, right.
But we're fine with the Budget Committee visiting the
Is
facilities.
that good with everybody?
Well, I'll make a motion, so I'll make that motion.
A second.
Any discussion? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Terrific. My second request is really more of a reminder. because we're going to have an awful lot of stuff to be reviewing, I'm again requesting that all detail information for warrant articles especially be presented in the packet that's going to be going out to us. Again, I've had a couple of budget committee members say, you know, it's futile for us to spend our time trying to figure out what it is you want and what this is going to do and what are the details, so I'm just going to vote no. Very similarly to people who don't understand what the zoning changes are because they're not necessarily in layman English. Well, since I can't understand it, I'm going to vote no. And we want to avoid that.
I'm the selectman rep to the safety complex.
Oh, but I'm not talking about just the safety
No,
complex.
no,
I'm
but
talking about
I
every
want to
warrant
ask you a
article.
question if
Oh,
I
I'm
may.
sorry, yes.
So, the finalized numbers for the safety complex are not
Well,
ready yet.
exactly. I understand that.
So I've given the police chief the direction is putting a placeholder in for the warrant article with the understanding that the numbers will have, because on Friday, we're doing interviews for the construction management company. So we're doing interviews all day Friday afternoon till about from 12 to 5:30. And at that time, but until that company comes in and starts putting they're the ones that are formally going to be putting the numbers together and
Right.
everything, we will not have a precise
My
number.
plan is I have to look at my calendar, I think it's the 3rd of, no, it's not the 3rd, it would be the 10th of January, is when we have the public hearing here for the Budget Committee approved or recommended budget. Just before the public hearing starts, we'll be finalizing those 4 or 5 warrant articles that are going into capital reserve funds, you know, the lagoon fund, the cable fund, the recycling fund, because at that point, we'll have those numbers. I anticipate you will have the final firm figure for a safety complex on that night as well.
Did you say the 10th, Ginger?
I think it's the 10th.
Thursday, the 10th of January.
Thursday?
Yeah, this is of January.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, with this B2, we are so limited with when we can do anything. No, Wednesday the 9th, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's Wednesday the 9th, and the school is Thursday the 10th. But I'll talk to you about that later. So that's why, you know, we can discuss the bulk of what's going to be.
Okay.
We can
I just wanted to give you
No,
a heads
no,
up
we
about
know,
that.
we know that,
All
we
right.
know that. We'll get I've been informed that the final figure will be available for that night, and we will have discussed the concept and all of the other things going into it prior to that. As pertaining to any other warrant articles that you choose to present that have to come before the Budget Committee, we need backup. If there's no backup and we're just relying on someone explaining something and we don't have anything in paper, don't be surprised if it's a real close vote if it passes. Because we have
Hey,
very
it's the
limited
first-
time.
It's the first time we put this before the town officially.
No, I'm not talking
No,
about the
I'm not-
safety complex.
You're
I'm
gonna
talking
find
about
out.
other warrant articles.
There's
Oh.
other warrant articles that.
So if
the
you've got a
departments
road
have not
article-
submitted any backup for.
Right. So if you've got an article to put extra money in to do roads, well, we'd like to know what roads.
Right.
And approximately what do you anticipate it's gonna run?
They want a
If there's
plan.
an ambulance coming in, if there's this coming in, if there's who knows what, repairs to the buildings committee there, if, you know, you're
Facility.
looking for X amount of dollars, well, what are you planning on doing with it?
Okay.
That's the kind of detail that they're gonna want. As opposed to just approving a blank
Not too much
20
to
grand
ask.
for
No.
facilities committee and you do with it whatever you want,
All right,
you know?
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That it? Anybody else?
Any other public comment?
Hi, sorry, I know you have an appointment, I'll try to be quick. I just had one thing I wanted to start a discussion on, and it doesn't have to be discussion tonight, maybe some other time. About a year ago, I started taking some of the DVDs from the library or from the archives and uploading them to YouTube for the school board meetings so that everybody could see them. And since the town ones were on there too, I grabbed those and I started uploading those as well. So there's a YouTube channel so people can watch the planning board meetings and the zoning board meetings at their own leisure if they can't make it to the meeting or can't, you know, stay up till 3 o'clock to watch it on the cable whenever it airs and stuff like that. It's been working fine. I've been just kind of doing it myself, coordinating with Gary to get archives, videos and stuff. But it'd be a lot more efficient if we could have Gary do it himself, which he probably can't do the way things are now because this is nothing cable related. So I understand you probably can't pay him out of the cable. Yep.
Right now, we're gonna have to put anything new on hold for a couple months.
Okay.
We're in a process right now that we're down several positions. And we're going to we're going to rehire a town administrator.
Yep. No, I understand.
And I respectfully, you know, as a citizen, I respectfully want to do. I like the YouTube idea. I just can't tackle that right now.
No, I understand. Yeah, I was talking to Gary, and I think he could do it himself, but it might just be a matter of having to have some funding in the budget for it or something like that, you know, so that we can do a contract. It really, you know, I've been doing it myself. It's really a very low effort. It's really, you know, especially if you're doing stuff with the videos.
We have a
right
lot
away.
of things in the fire right
No, yeah, I get it. I mean, but now is the budget time. You're making your budget for next year, right? So, I mean, if it's possible to maybe even just have a small discussion with him and find out, well, what would it take in order for this to happen, right? Because I think it would be a good benefit to the town if we could. And, you know, I'm not asking for anything to happen now or something like that, but if you're going to do the budget, maybe talk to him, and now's the time to see if we can get that money in the budget or how much it would be and stuff like that. I really don't think it would be much at all. It seems like it would be reasonable. If not, I can continue to do it myself.
How long does it take to do an evening?
It really isn't that long for
Takes
one
the file and you just push it up to YouTube.
Yep, the most of the time is
Pushing a file up.
you upload to YouTube and it takes a little while to upload. But really the amount of time you're actually doing anything, you know, is uploading it and then maybe, you know, setting the title.
Okay.
You know,
Because the file already exists, you just have to
Yep.
push it up.
And right now it just takes, you know, like I'll put it up there, but it takes like a month or 2 months sometimes. I just uploaded some today that were, you know, because I run to Gary from time to time and I'm busy and stuff like that. So, I mean, while he's burning onto DVD, if you could do it right then too, you know, we could get things up pretty quick. So, just an idea. I think it'd be nice for the town, and if you guys could consider it sometime, that'd be great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it too, I appreciate it.
All right,
No, we gotta go.
Okay. I'll make a motion to go to non-public under our RSA. Did I get one of those?
Hey, you want another one?
I got under RSA 91A3, paragraph 2, A, B, C, and E.
Second, roll call, Don Hush, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Scott Breyer, aye.
Non-public for me?
No,
No.
Oh, no.
It's you guys, right?
Right.
Are we now in non-public?
Yes.
Yes. I'll make a motion to come out of non-public.
I second that.
roll call, Don Hush, aye.
Scott Breyer, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Okay,
I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes.
a second. Any discussion?
I just want to, for discussion, that we will have to go back into non-public towards the end of the meeting.
Any more? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're gonna move right on. We're a little bit behind, but we'll try to get back on schedule here. Fire
Sorry.
chief or representative, step on up.
Deputy Chief.
Let's nail them both right at the same time. Apparatus quote and the finance.
So everyone received a quote from Chief Bassett that was emailed. There was a little conversation, and his department was asked to come and discuss that with you.
$20,000.
22.
22, 23.
22, 514.46.
All right, do we have that? Obviously, we have that in the budget, but where are we gonna get it from? Where are we gonna take that from?
We're going to overspend the
I would
line.
need a budget to see where you guys
What's
are.
the 22 for?
It's for the fire
The
apparatus.
engine 3
Oh,
that has been out.
But
to
we'd
get fixed.
overspend the repair line, but we'd have to make sure the money's in the budget elsewhere.
Bottom line, Sandy.
well, you give me 2 seconds, I'll have it.
How long will it take to fix? Any idea?
Did he give a date? I don't believe so. It should be fairly quick,
Okay.
because he knows exactly what it is. And it's just a matter of dropping the pump and putting the shaft and stuff in and then putting everything back together. So I'm hoping it should be quick.
Good.
We really need it.
Yes, definitely. Thankfully, we haven't needed it.
Correct.
Thankfully, yes. That would be good, I'm glad.
And was it put on the record that it's Greg LeBlanc
Yes.
is
Greg
here?
LeBlanc,
LeBlanc.
Deputy Chief, north of Fire.
Thank you. Just so that the person doing the minutes.
Yes, definitely.
Trinity's
So-
gonna have to know these locals pretty soon.
Hopefully you guys can get a little more formal
Does
and
she live- I thought she
introduce
lived
when
in
people
town.
come. And then that way it's easy for anyone to do those minutes. It's really hard
You
when you're on
forget,
the other
because so
end.
many other people already know who people are, so it's like you forget to like introduce them, because
Right.
it's like, everybody already knows who he is.
Yeah, I can remember when I first started in Thornton, they were like, up at the corner on old Joey Smith's property, and I'm like, okay, can we say the name of the road? Because I couldn't relate.
Do we have anything we can?
Yeah. Yeah, so the other thing that we'll be talking about
That's
is,
pretty much a done deal, we're just trying to figure out where we can get the money.
the other thing that's right below that, and, Sandy will get involved in that conversation as well, is the stipend and the point system and the way that that's been processed in the past, and the fact that the Department of Labor came in and said that it cannot continue to be processed that way.
So why don't we go over what we decided to do to have them fill out that paper like the police department?
There's a couple things. The first thing is, how do you deal with your November 1st, 17 to October 31st, 2018 numbers?
Gonna have to pay them out by hour, correct?
What has happened is Sandy informed me that there is 7 individuals that did not only the call, but filled in shifts.
Okay.
That's what your problem is. You can't have call and shift the same because you cannot donate your time in your career. If you're a firefighter and you do any kind of firefighting work, you must be paid for it. So,
Wonder if they're not a fire, I'm being facetious,
They're on
like, if they're a carpenter and they're working in a fire because they decided to be a call firefighter.
well, that's fine. You can have your on-call people and continue to do a stipend program if that's what you want. What ends up
Why would you
happening?
do that?
No, we can't do that. We know we can't do that, but I was just,
No,
Go ahead.
you can.
You
do
can,
that.
so you
just
can't
have to
volunteer
have
the state being an
internal
accountant.
controls.
In other words, you can't be on the payroll and still volunteer.
Right.
Exactly.
Basically.
It's that simple. So as long as the individual at the top, or whoever's in charge of controlling the process, stays on top of it, you won't run into a
Everybody the
problem.
same though.
You may want to change that completely. Most towns are starting to do that
I
because
think that if we don't change it, we'll continue to have these problems going
I
forward.
agree. I
Just
think that,
take one flat and
The issue we will have is we need coverage, so we need to pull from the on-call members
Right,
to help with shifts.
of
Right.
course.
So either we make everyone per diem,
yeah,
or
So let me ask you this.
we don't
Can
cover
pay-
the town.
exactly.
I'm just asking the question, can we pay somebody when they're doing on-call, like I'm just being $7.50, $8 an hour, and then when they actually work a shift, pay him a different rate?
you can do that, but that can also get very complicated. So
Well,
right
no,
now, what
there's a
Sandy's
schedule.
looking for from the Board of Selectmen is, what are you gonna do for the last year that's already been completed? And the Department of Labor has found those 7 individuals.
Okay.
So Sandy has suggested that the selectmen would pay these 7 individuals their wage amount, whatever that amount is that when they're on part-time or per diem. And then the rest of that stipend, whatever's left over, would still be done through the point system like you've done in the past, and that is legal and within the guidelines of
What?
Department of Labor for last year.
I think that's reasonable.
Oh, wait, so we're gonna do the points for last year?
Yes, and
Yeah.
so what she's saying
Oh,
is,
okay.
what she's saying is you take those 7 people,
Yeah.
you pay them out, and then whatever's left over, that goes into a pool and then gets split up amongst how many ever are left, and that creates the amount that you pay for those points for that year.
Which is how it's always been done.
Right.
And Sandy
Right, except
came
this year
up-
we get those 7 to pay by hour.
Correct, but I'm talking about the
Right,
points. The
right.
point system's always been done.
Right.
Yeah, but the
The
problem
points get
is,
divided
the
up with the
problem
budget.
is they didn't have they didn't have the proper documentation, or is it because you were paying them both ways?
Okay. Because they're paying both ways and they can't do that. They either have to remain a volunteer and get a stipend, or they can cover shifts. They can't do both. So if they're covering shifts, they can't go to calls at 2 o'clock in the morning. If they're going to calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, Nick can't draw them to cover shifts. So it's one or the other. So Here's the problem though, there's several problems. Okay, so the Department of Labor, my last conversation with them last week, they're coming in Thursday, by the way. There are 7 people that are doing both. They can't. So my recommendation was take those 7 and just pay them their station wage for these hours that are coming in for
Tell
this.
them not to do call anymore.
Well, hear me out.
Oh, we need
Let them do
to
their, just, I'm talking about just this past year that we have to pay out. Just pay the station wage that they're at now, for whatever hours she deems that we owe them. And take it out of the stipend line.
Yeah.
Take the balance of that stipend line, divide it by the rest of them that are true volunteers, up to the 30,000, pay it out and be done with it.
Yeah.
As of November 1st going forward,
That's what you
there's where you need to decide what you want to do. Do you want to keep them all as volunteers? And that means there's no station coverage for shifts for the full-timers. Or do you want to put them all as per diem, and they, every time they go on a call, they do a timesheet?
That's what I want to do.
Okay, now here's,
For the per diem.
Yes, me too.
okay, that way they can be used all over the
That way
place.
they can still be used and still get paid. We
There's
just gotta
some
figure out that
catches
way.
to that.
So there'll be a detailed voucher
Just like that,
similar
yeah.
to
Like we
what
do
the
the
police
police
department
department.
does. And the officer that is on duty will have to sign off. You have the employee or the per diem worker
Or the lieutenants, right.
So,
would
So
sign,
they,
they
so
would
the firefighter
sign.
says the time card, and then the paperwork gets.
What's gonna
processed.
happen, and the way the police do it, these detail slips will be made out for the fire department, there's 3 parts. The employee will keep one. One of them will get attached to the back of their timesheet, and I don't care if there's 10 of them attached to that timesheet. If they've done 10 calls, there'll be 10 reports. One of them has to get printed or attached to the back of a printed incident report. And here was, Tammy and I
and you gotta tie out the
We've
thread.
spent quite a few
Right, we've
hours
spent quite a
going
few
over
hours.
this.
Here's a recommendation after talking to other towns, talking to Department of Labor.
More paperwork.
It is more paperwork, but it's accurate.
There's
If-
internal controls.
If that special duty sheet, as you guys know from the
I like
police
it.
department, it's not attached to their timesheet, they don't get paid for that call.
Right.
So
Until they
that
turn it
requires
in.
your department head to make sure that he's doing what he needs. It requires that the individual that's on site and
Yep.
is in charge is doing what they need to do. And then if they do what they need to do, finance can pay them without any
So
question.
that's,
Because you guys tell me if PD doesn't have theirs attached, we don't pay them. So I don't. So we'll do the same with the fire department, because you gotta treat everybody equally.
so if we go with this, the next step would be deciding what we pay per diem.
Correct. So do you want to do it as per diem, or do you want to put them, do you want to have a station rate in a,
No, I like
or a
per
call
diem.
rate?
It sounds like they need the help. It's just finding what the reasonable.
Right, because you're not going to get them to come in there for $9 an hour. It's just not going to happen. They're going to go somewhere
Well, the
else.
other thing too is that
Oh, wait,
if on
if they
call,
were initially, I'm just throwing this out here for discussion. They were initially volunteers or call people for points.
the points were coming up at about 10, an average of
About $10 an hour.
is what Sandy's come up with.
So, and you're absolute, that's a solid number.
Last year it was 10.01. The year before it was
$10 an hour or $10 a call?
$10 a point.
All right, so this is my problem with the points.
Right.
Some points could be a half hour,
Some
some
could be
points
8.
could be 3 hours or whatever.
Right, so but if you're paying them per diem, you're paying them for how long they're there.
Per hour.
Right, per hour.
Per they're there.
But-
But like she said, each point's worth $10. So sometimes you were
That's the
paying
person
somebody.
who's in charge of it though. Like, if it was a house fire and it was like 8 hours long, would that be considered 1 point or would it be more than 1 point?
It's 1 point.
1 point.
So now that could be
But
$80.
with the discretion of the chief, if it's a lot of, there's only a few people that show up and do a lot of work,
Right.
he's added a couple points to that incident.
Because one person did the work
Yeah,
of
but you
2 or
can't
3.
do anymore.
Correct, we understand that, yeah, we figured that
I
out
just
too.
wanted to know
yeah.
that
Right.
it wasn't always.
So what I'm
$10.
saying, I think $10 an hour might put the town in jeopardy for having to spend too much money because
Well-
it's $10 a point.
If you don't have control in place
Right.
and they all show up, yes.
But here's how the controls
Yes.
work. As we started to say, we talked to
So
Department
is
of
the
Labor.
chief gonna send people home if it's too many come to a
Nope.
call?
What you can do, you got 4 lieutenants, you pick 4 teams. Team A, Team B, Team C, Team D. Granted, you have 1 lieutenant who's EMS only, you have 1 lieutenant who's fire only, and you have 2 lieutenants who are both. You divide the teams up so that there's equal amount of EMS and fire on each team. If Team A is doing calls that week, and they can split up their call in their team however they want, because you're gonna have 6 or 7 guys per team, guys and ladies per team. Do you really need 7 at every call? No. If you have women that don't work nights, they may do Saturday and Sunday shifts on the call basis.
But my point, here again,
Okay,
If it's a major
if it's-
fire,
then
team
that's up to the
A through
chief.
D needs to be called
If
out.
that's the
Everybody
discretion of the
needs to-
chief. If it's like the Johnson's burn, all hands on deck, that's up to the chief. But
Right,
as
we can't- so
as a
what-
normal operating
What you're saying is
process.
we can't have 30 people show up at a small
Right.
fender bender.
So if team
How does
A,
it work if
$10
we
an
have
hour.
to call like Epsom or another town? How does that work then?
same way it always has, if you
do we
need.
have to, here's a question I got for the assistant chief. If we have a small fender bender, do we don't send the fire, we don't send somebody out to that, do
Not
we?
unless the police call you, right?
It depends. If we're called 911, then yes, we'll send out the
There
ambulance
was
to
one
check
the
it.
other day.
A lot of times, no. The
But, I
PD,
mean-
the PD has a lot of accidents in their town report that we don't go to,
Yeah.
because we don't get called.
Well, I didn't mean it like that, but I'm just saying, I
Yeah,
was saying.
and I'm saying, the PD in their report has a lot more accidents than the fire department does.
So anybody that called 911.
If they call 911 and there's a chance there's an injury or there's fluids leaking, then the fire department will go. And when with that response for a motor vehicle accident, even if it's a little just a fender bender, is the ambulance and an engine and the rescue.
And how many people are that?
Usually it's 2 people on the ambulance, because it has to be.
Yeah.
For coverage, for state laws, has to be 2 people. Sometimes it's 1, but an EMT meets them there.
Yeah.
And then usually it's 1 person on the rescue and 1 person on the
So
engine,
it could
sometimes
be,
2 to 3.
it could be 4 to 5.
So if you have 7 per team, if team A is covering call that week, then if you guys need station coverage for shifts, you draw from team B, C, and D. They don't do call.
So
that
way
this
the
this
next
is all
one
in
ended
theory.
up doing
How
the
do you think
same
this would
thing.
actually work?
And then that
You're in
way,
the department.
you're controlling how many people are running.
Because you say that, but you
Like,
know,
what
not everyone's
happens when
gonna
they
show
don't
up.
show and they have
Right.
to go on
The issue we have now is the same 10 people run all our calls.
Right.
Yeah.
So we start setting up teams, then we have to try to figure out who wants to be on this week, who wants to be on this week, who wants to be on this week.
If it's only the same 10
And
people.
everybody-
About 26, 10 are showing up.
And we have a 34-member department. Or we're supposed to have
Well,
34.
you have 26.
Right,
You got
26 right
Can
now.
I ask, and I'm not trying to be, but if we got people that aren't really participating, why are they still in the department?
I can't answer that. You have to ask the fire chief.
No, I'm
then.
asking you. You said you have 10 people that always
Wait, but he's
show
not the
up.
fire chief. I think you're putting him in an awkward position
Yeah,
on that one.
No, I'm not asking them who they are.
Not to step into a
I'm not-
non-public place.
But I'm not asking them who they are. I'm asking them
Procedurally.
procedurally.
Because we have nothing in place right now that states that you
Yeah, I'm
have
not
to do.
saying who they are.
I was afraid he didn't.
We have nothing in place right now that says we can get rid of someone because they don't show up to anything but meetings.
Okay.
So we need to do that.
So that was one of the things that we had discussed. Nick sent you guys an email.
Yes.
It was in there that he's looking to do mandatory shifts for officers and EMS coverage like we used to do. Used to have 10 calls a year, 10 meetings, 10 trainings. So you had to participate.
We can't.
Can I
Anyway,
interject
Can't
something?
force the volunteers to do
If
that.
they stay volunteers, you can't force them to cover a shift or respond to a call
Correct.
at all.
But
They
if
have
they're
to be per
on
diem.
payroll, you
If they're
can.
per diem, you can.
Yeah.
But
So
I
once
think
we
what
make
they're-
them
I
per
think
diem,
It's because they're short-staffed in the
You
town.
still can't make them.
so once
They're
if we
volunteers.
decide to go
It's against
per
the law.
diem, like we're
But
saying,
once we make them per diem,
they can make them do this.
But
They can
also,
enforce this rule.
the reason we
Yes.
used to have this rule is because we pay for their EMS training and
Right.
stuff. If the town pays for their training,
And they're the license too, or not?
That's gonna help with
It's
the
the
coverage.
Department of
but if they
Labor
don't
says,
show up,
because
we
I
can
brought
move
that,
on
Nick and I
to-
was sitting here with him, and we said that, but we pay for their training, she said, it doesn't matter. If they're volunteer, you cannot force a volunteer to cover a shift and work.
Oh, that's,
Period.
we're okay, we're gonna make them per diem.
Right. And if they're per diem, they'll be under our workers' comp and our unemployment, which as a volunteer, technically they're not.
So they're actually,
what happens if a volunteer gets hurt on the thing that
Well-
jeopardize? I know that's
The
a gray
last
area.
two, thank goodness, have covered shifts, so we've
they're gonna
filed
be
a
made to
claim.
be covered shifts now, so it
Right.
won't matter.
Technically, if they
Oh,
don't cover shifts, you can't.
No, it's not true.
That's not true.
That is
It's a
not true.
it's a $500 law that will pay them out, $500.
That's not true.
It is true, call Primex.
I think,
We'll
if
have
the-
to go
I
non-public.
think, let's, yeah. All right, so what's so what I'm concerned about is I'm not opposed to
Making them per diem.
a per diem, but what
Is the rate.
is the rate? Because I'm saying, you said a point's $10, but you got people that might only be out there for an hour,
Right.
and then you have people.
That might
Well,
cover a
it's
shift.
all call. I remember when I was on all calls, no matter how small they are, would take you up at least an hour.
Or there's the
longer.
fire alarm activation
Right.
that gets canceled. So only one person goes out. So you're not even there for 10 minutes. What are we gonna do
But the
then?
full timers.
I think if you go to a call, you get an automatic hour. I mean, that's kind of.
Well, here's what
That's
Stratford
what we
does.
need to figure out, is it gonna be?
But what
a
I'm, so
minimum
that's
of
what
an
I'm
hour?
telling, what's that,
People aren't gonna
I don't
respond for
wanna,
10
I,
minutes.
see, if I have to do a per diem, if they just show up,
I think they automatically get an hour.
yeah, but that's like, I'm not sure, and I'm not saying I'd be convinced maybe, but I don't know if we can afford $10 an hour for per diem for everybody.
I don't know. Stratford does 14 an hour, flat rate everybody, station coverage or per diem, and 1 hour minimum.
And what is their annual budget for
What's
that?
their
I
annual?
don't know, I didn't ask that.
I looked around, Center Harbor is $10.
How are they getting?
They
Do they get coverage?
a minimum hour, yeah, they have live-ins too that help over there, so.
So I mean, so $10 an hour isn't as unreasonable as it sounds as $10 an hour.
As long as there's, I mean, is there a way to get some kind of control in place as to how
We would
many
have to,
people
we would have to
would be
implement
allowed
something
on the
that
site?
people just can't show up at the station and say, I
So
was
when we
here.
do the budget this year, how much do we need to put in that per diem line?
That's gonna depend on
And
what you
then if
guys
you
set for
only,
the wage.
that's what I'm saying. So right now, we got $30,000.
Right, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna combine it with your, Nick just increased the part-time line, so you're gonna add that 30,000 to it, so you're gonna have about $100,000 in part-time line. Because you're not gonna have the stipend line anymore.
So we're getting rid of the stipend line.
Just roll that money up into
So
the
what, you
part-time
got
line.
70,000 on the part-time line
I
right
can't
now?
remember what he put in there.
The exact number, but it could go up.
That's not on this one, that's the expense report.
Greg, would the responding,
that's the
would that
expense
help?
report,
That
so
way
we
you
can see
would
what the
say,
department
okay, it's already 4 people responding, I don't need to go to that, or?
It could. That's
We're
something.
already
yeah.
paying for that, so could we
Right.
utilize that for that? So 10 people aren't going to a call, when only 4 are needed.
That would be something we would definitely look into, yes. As long as we can get everyone to use it, yes.
That's this year's expense
And
data.
if you were on a site, could you
Yes.
send individuals home? Let's just say you get 10 people and you know that this particular call only requires 3.
Or say you're on a motor vehicle
But
accident, or
if
But if you're
someone
doing
goes, the thing is,
teams,
if they
right.
get there, then you can't say, okay, just go home.
minimum an hour.
You have people
But
that
if you're
still
gonna
work.
be paying them hourly, and it's gonna be a 4-hour thing, but you only needed 3 people, and now you got 8 people there, that's twice the amount of money.
Send them
But
home
if,
after.
but if you
One,
respond,
we do
don't
one
you
person
have
at a
to-
time?
For an hour.
I don't know.
The person who is there, who's in charge, would determine what is required for the incident that they're working with. And if they see that you've got 6, 8 people coming in, it's
And that would probably be something we'd run into, where we'd have people that just show up for the.
You have people that show up at the accidents sometimes still, don't you?
Correct. And that's the problem with the fire service. The call could need 5 people.
Right.
And you would think that the basic call that you started to go out to only needed the 2 full-timers that were working, or the
Then you
full-time
get
and the
there, you
part-time.
need 10 people.
And then when you get there, you find out that the call needed a lot more. So that's the problem with the fire service. So you never know if you could set a schedule and set teams, if that would
Or you
work.
could have 3 from each team be on standby
What's
for the
that?
next team, or
What's-
something like that, I don't
Does
know.
anybody know what Epsom pays an hour?
I don't.
Why don't we do what we said? Why don't we start it at a reasonable $10 an hour? Make sure, let's start the procedure of having that filled out and see, make it work, and then we can revisit the rate later on. Once we see it's working, we get a consistent.
What
of this
happens
with
if you
this,
start
this,
at
this?
10 and you find out it's costing way more?
Well, what do you,
Well,
if you
I-
start out at 8 and then nobody goes, what happens if you start out lower and nobody
I think
goes?
they're gonna have to figure out how to control the amount of people by using maybe your radios or your alert, something you're gonna have to,
piece that has to be.
No, I
followed.
get what you're saying.
So
And
until we get
I'm
this
also-
ironed out, should we start at $9 an hour?
Wait, oh.
I'm all for setting, because I hate the people that show up at the last second just for the point, that with
Yeah.
the system we have now. That irritates me, that's a pet
Yeah.
peeve of mine.
But that's where they're gonna fill these sheets out, and the
Correct.
officer in charge
The
is gonna
officer in
sign off.
charge is gonna be the one that, and you guys might get some blowback. As long as they go through the chain of command, they should be coming to Nick and I first, or their
Yes.
officers first. about not getting paid for that call. And then it might come up to you guys, but you guys are gonna have to back us.
Well, I think if it comes to us first, we need to say
Saying-
that we
saying
pay
that-
Go
command.
back to you, right.
When we give you the reason that they just showed up at the last second, they weren't needed, so we can't,
Right.
you know, can we say that? Can we say they weren't needed, you know?
Yeah, I
and-
mean, I think we have to let that happen.
Well, and, right, and then
But
they
we
need
need
to.
to-
each
Why
one of
don't
them-
we
Still
look
like
into
when-
that with the fire academy and people that, you know, have more qualifications as to how this should work and can we do this before
And
you?
that's the other thing, a lot of the other departments, depending on your certifications, pay you more.
Right.
Bo is, you know, you get more for, I talked to a friend of mine in Kennebunkport, Maine, and the officers get a certain amount.
Officers get a certain amount, and then the per diem get something else.
The per diem have one rate, and then certifications bump you up.
But that's what we do with station duty now. So are we gonna have one flat rate for station duty and call? Is that what we're
I
gonna
think we
do?
should start with one flat
I
rate.
think we should start with one flat
Per
rate.
diem, let's not overboard yet.
I was gonna say, because you don't wanna be rolling people back.
Right.
I think we need to get the per diem, like you said last week, get the per diem working, get that system in
And
place.
then we figure out,
Let them prove that it's gonna work. I set a reasonable rate, and we may take a hit the first year, but we'll know.
Well, and looking at the budget that we just proposed, Nick bumped it up to 67,470 for part-time, and we have 30,000 in the stipend line, so you've got $97,470 for part-time.
We
for
have,
per
we
diem.
have.
but how much have we spent this year after you pay out the stipend?
I don't know, because I don't know the number that
Do you have any idea out of the 7, how much out of the $30,000?
she hasn't got the report back. She's supposed to have it to me
So,
Thursday.
yeah, so I think
Because
before,
there
before
could be
we set up an
$1,000
hourly
left to
rate,
do
I
the
think we
place
should
for
have that
everybody else.
report.
Would be- Oh, I don't think it'd be that
I mean,
much,
I
but,
just, it just,
right.
I mean, I think we should have that report before we figure out, because if we get that report, it's like, oh, this isn't that bad.
I don't think it will be,
But
and she
what I'm
didn't either,
saying-
because there's only 7 of them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it'll
Was
give
it
us
for
an
shifts or
idea of
just calls?
how much money we need, and then if, I just don't wanna, get the budget too high in other areas.
I don't wanna get the budget too high, but I don't want to set the number too low that we're not gonna get people to come. So it's kind of like, I don't wanna just throw out a number.
get them
that
to
we don't-
come, but not too many. It's like,
It's gonna be,
You know
that's
what I
gonna be a balancing act, for sure.
yes.
There's no
Well,
doubt.
what do you think? What do you think the hourly rate should be?
If we're doing one flat rate, 10 sounds
I mean, I
decent.
think that sounds
It's not-
reasonable.
That's gonna be on call.
What's minimum wage now?
750?
750.
Right, so, yeah. You know, it's a little more, it's quite a bit more than
I'm
minimum
okay.
wage.
It's
All right,
$2
all right,
less than
all right.
Target.
Just to
There you
get this
go.
settled, I'm okay with $10 an hour.
Alright, let's do 10.
I'll make a motion.
But I get what he's talking about, can we just, 1 minute? So you're saying that there's people that have more experience, have been in the business longer, have credentials, and then there's new people that are just walking in who's really
Off the
just,
street.
that don't have,
They have
can't
no
bring the
skills, right.
same skill set
It's
to
like when I-
the,
Well, no, they do have skills.
Well,
They're
it's
just
this. It's like
less
somebody that
experience.
hasn't got formal training, but had, like, somebody like, I wanna join the fire department.
Yeah.
but
see,
they're all coming in as per diem workers,
It's
and
$10.
we're
You're gonna
not,
get the same rate as him.
so
Well, the same
maybe
rate
you
as someone
could
who-
do.
So I think
Well,
you're
I'm
on
saying-
something by
I'm saying-
giving like
I'm saying
a shift difference.
We're gonna do the
doing
$10
the
an
points
hour to
before.
get the thing going.
Right.
And then after the thing settles down a little bit, we find out it's working, then we'll go back and adjust the wages based.
Well, would you think maybe $8 for people that don't have as much experience and 10 or,
If we only have 10 people responding though, I don't want to make it, I think it should
The
be
10
fair.
people that are currently.
That's a guesstimate number. There is more than
I'm just
10.
getting-
Right,
no,
but
it's
let me ask you
fine.
this, the ones that are responding, what's their skill level? Like, are they EMTs,
Most
are
of them are EMTs, yes.
they EMT?
Because that's most of our calls is ambulance
I
calls.
think,
fire,
I think
we
we
get
need
some
to
that are
do
both.
something
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
with Tammy's on the right line, maybe $8.
he mentioned that, which kind of brought to my attention. that you-
$8 to people that don't have the qualifications, or 10 and 12, whatever. Some sort of difference so people with
So
qualifications
if they have a
aren't getting.
qualification
They're
for both
identified
EMS,
and
They're identified
fire,
and making more.
give them 10. If they have just EMS or just
I know
fire,
if I was in his shoes and somebody off the
Me.
street came in and went to a
Or
call and
whatever.
got the same amount of money as I did, and let's say they were just holding the sign, I'd be pretty disappointed.
I would too.
That's just,
And now that you say that, the officer's stipend is in there too. That would probably,
that's a whole separate line. That's
correct, but
Right.
we're all per diem now. Wouldn't that officer's stipend be added into your part-time?
yeah, I
No.
think so. It would.
no, your officer stipend can stay the same. She said those are fine. Those are
Yeah,
incentives
but
for your
maybe-
officers.
Well, if everybody's doing per diem,
They won't get that.
No, because they're gonna get the
You
rate
do
of
one
pay
or
and
the
then
other.
the bonus is the
I think you
stipend,
do one or
right?
the other, you can't have it.
Right.
Okay, so then if you wanna do that, then you've got another 10,000, so you're
But I think
up
we
to
should do 10
almost
for,
$108,000.
let's do 10 for people without qualifications and maybe a higher rate for people with.
Or is it better from where you're sitting to say if you're an officer, you still get that differentiated at the end versus getting the same per diem as everybody else? What would you feel would work better?
I think, especially for my lieutenants who cover a lot of calls for us, they should be getting a little more, because they're in charge of everyone that's
I
on that
agree.
seat.
I think we should give them.
Well,
a
and now
higher
they're
rate.
also gonna be doing more paperwork.
Right,
And,
But
correct.
because
all
the
I'm
hour that
saying-
it takes them at the station after a call to do the paperwork,
All-
they have to be on the clock.
all
But they get paid, yeah.
All I'm
But that's
saying
what on their
is,
station.
right now, the 7 people that are going on the calls, what are they making an hour?
Some of them are 16 something an hour, some are 15, some, it depends on how long they've been on the,
So
How
they're
long
gonna be
you been
taking
here?
a reduction?
that was the
Just-
point, you don't wanna be giving them a reduction.
Just
They've
for
been
that.
here 10, 15 years, some of them.
But that, for a shift versus, a shift is you're working a total shift. A call, it could be an hour, I
You
don't,
can have a different rate for a shift, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So they're still getting their $16 an
If
hour
they cover
shift.
station.
for their
duty.
shift.
Right.
Yes.
But if they go to a call, they only get $10 an hour.
And
But they're
this
still
could be-
using the same certification,
But
so,
these 7 people, do they all have shifts?
yes, that's why
Are they all doing shift work?
Yes.
So what's wrong, let's just do the flat rate for now.
For the
Because some of the
per diem, not
officers are
shifts.
doing shift work and it's being reflected in their shift hourly rate. So let's just do the flat,
Okay.
because if
I'm
you
not- like
more
you said, we
complicated you
can-
make
They're
it,
willing
the
to
more.
go on as a volunteer for
We can
the quick
we can
access.
revisit it
I
if
don't
it's not
think,
working.
And their steps, their steps reflect their certifications in their shift rate anyway.
right.
I don't wanna argue
So you don't
about
really
we
need it
can
in there
revisit
per
it.
diem
I
rate.
just
I
wanna
just
come
don't
up
want to
with
have
conclusions.
like, this one's get this, let's make it simple till we get it under.
And
Maybe
at least
we
get it
need
going.
to establish quarterly meetings to begin with, to get, information provided from the fire department that shows, what's been getting paid out, how it's been working, whether the new forms are working, and then you can kind of revisit it on a quarterly basis till you guys feel comfortable, both the fire department and the board of selectmen.
I'm okay with that. So why don't you finish your motion and we'll make them all per diem.
I'll
You
make
guys-
it-
They're gonna need time to
okay.
explain how to do all the
I'll
paperwork,
make-
to,
I'll make a motion. I didn't want to interrupt you.
thank you, I appreciate that.
You want to finish? Okay. I'll make a motion for $10 an hour for the per diem rate for the call guys. And then the people that are working scheduled shifts will remain at their current hourly wages when they're working a scheduled shift.
When they go on a call, they'll get their 10 to
If they
$10.
go on a call
They
that's
would
not
not
a
schedule.
shift, they'll get the $10 an hour if they're on their shift and they go on a call. I mean, if they're on a shift, they get their 16 or whatever they get.
You know what we're saying.
Yeah, but someone's gotta type this up, so I don't know.
Well, no, that's what I said, okay. So, my motion is, everybody that goes on a call, not a shift, call firefighters will get $10 per diem per hour.
Firefighters and EMTs.
Yeah. All right, just a flat $10 an hour. Then people that are working a pre-scheduled, they actually scheduled shift will get their normal hourly wage,
Station, yep.
the station coverage.
May I ask a question in that motion?
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It's
If
very
they go
clear.
on a call that they're not
Is it
scheduled
going to
for,
be a
they'll get-
1 hour minimum per call?
Yes, 1
Yeah,
hour
you
minimum.
get that, it's gonna be two.
I want it motion though, so we have it on the record,
Yeah,
so
all
it's
right,
challenged.
so I will also add to the motion that if you go on a call, the minimum, you get paid a minimum of 1 hour.
With knowing that all the paperwork needs to be filled out properly and attached to all 3 items before it gets
Right,
paid.
the employee signs it, the lieutenant on duty or whoever
Why don't
signs
we
it,
read
and
the
the fire
motion off
chief.
so it's official? What you got in your note? Did you make a note on the motion?
I did.
All right, I'll read it. I'll read
It's just notes.
Okay. With the points you want? Okay. I'm gonna rephrase my motion.
Okay.
I'm even
Just
put on
start
my
over.
glasses. I want to do over. All right. Per diem call guys get a rate of $10 an hour. Okay. The station rate for people that are actually have a scheduled station time will be their normal rate that they're getting now. Each call, if somebody goes a call, they automatically get paid a 1 hour minimum.
If they're not
If
on,
they're in addition, they'll only get paid if the
Detailed
the
voucher.
detailed documentation that was discussed tonight is included, which I believe is, one copy is attached to the timesheet, one copy goes to the incident report, and with the third copy
The
goes,
employee keeps it for their
the
record.
employee keeps it for their records. As long as all the documentation's maintained, they get paid. If the documentation is not maintained, they will not get paid.
and if
That's
they're
a
not.
motion?
And that's a motion.
Second? Any discussion? I'm just gonna say, and if they're not, oh, go ahead.
You asked for discussion, go ahead, finish your
If
sentence.
they're not on the schedule, they will get the $10 an hour as if they were a per diem on-call person.
Yeah, if they're filling shifts, they'll get their
Yeah, if they're
regular
on,
station
oh,
rate.
if they're on a shift, they're not gonna get paid for per diem.
No.
If they're on a shift, they go on a
But
call.
if they're
over a
not
shift.
on shift and they go on a call, they're only getting the $10
Right.
an hour, they're not getting their
Right.
shift pay. What was your question?
Right.
Do we have the discrepancy to give or not give points or pay? Because you made the motion that if somebody shows up on a call, they're getting the $10.
Well, I'm saying,
Yes.
if they show up on a call,
But you said to fill out all the documentation.
Yes.
So if they have all 3 pieces filled out, but the lieutenant doesn't sign it because he doesn't agree with it,
Then I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that because the lieutenant's on the scene.
well, the part of the
Because-
part of the requirement is
But
that
is there
that they-
Lieutenant signs off on it.
Yeah.
I understand that. But it's up to the discretion of the lieutenant. Did that person do enough to earn or
Right.
warrant getting paid?
Well,
Well, if
now
they
you're
were
on a
there for the
slip.
call.
Now you're on a
That-
slippery
that-
slope.
Well, here's the thing.
That's what I was talking
So-
about earlier, when you guys might be getting pushback.
No,
Because if
no, we
someone-
will get. Well, see, if somebody actually shows,
Up to the, if somebody
if somebody
We're gonna work
shows
it
up at the station,
and just sits there at the station and does nothing,
well, no, somebody shows up at the station, and,
fills out a piece of paper,
well, you say we don't need you, send them home. But if somebody this is gonna be easy. Somebody shows up at a call, and they didn't come on the piece of apparatus. I think you got no issue. You weren't on the apparatus. Go home.
Like, I
They don't all
think this
show
is
up
your,
on the
when you are
apparatus.
responding, you need to,
Unless you call them. You
right.
need more help.
I am,
You have your
I
app, you
understand.
have your radios.
I understand, that, if I call them, I have no issue with that.
Right.
But I'm talking about the people that, they hear the pager go off,
Yeah,
they go down to the station, they miss the ambulance, they miss the engine,
Yeah.
and they just hang out there, they sign the sheet and they go home.
Nope.
no.
No, they have to.
You gotta work the call.
They have to work the call.
Correct.
And you can't go by
That
the,
gives you the
can't-
right to say no. What we need to do is, if you
So
do
your motion could include that they must participate in the
the
call.
call.
Not drive by, stop and say, hey, you all set, and then keep
Not-
going.
I'd like to, okay, so my original motion was,
Must work call.
Does that sound better?
oh yeah, my
Participate.
original motion was, what I said, we got that down. I'd like to amend the motion to add that the person must actually physically participate in the call.
I have a question.
Second.
What was the second first on the amendment?
All right, second on the amendment. All right, now discussion, question?
Now, for trainings, you get a point. So what happens with trainings?
Trainings
gonna
you
be
get
hourly.
paid per
That's
diem.
good. Timesheet.
You get paid per diem.
So,
Just like-
okay, so
just
it's
like the
$10
police
an
do.
hour.
You'll have to fill out all that paperwork and they'll get paid per hour.
So then you're gonna have the people that only go just to trainings but never go to
Well,
calls.
they'll get
Then that's up to
they'll
the
get
fire
the
department
$20
to
an hour.
decide
If they
whether-
go to
Well,
training,
that's
they're gonna
when,
get paid.
That's when they decide to keep them on the roster.
management and the fire department has to determine,
Right.
look,
That's when we can implement the system and
Because
say,
now that makes
so
one,
if you're just showing up at trainings and not doing any calls,
Right.
then it's up to management. In this case, management with support of the selectmen to, I don't want to use this word, but weed out the people that aren't really doing the work.
All right, are we good? Can I call for the vote now? Are you all set?
Yeah,
You all set?
Yeah,
It's good, I'm
You all
set.
set? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Well,
passed.
you gotta vote on the amendment first and then go back to the main question.
We're voting on the amendment.
So we're voting on the amendment.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Now back to the main question.
Vote. Call for the vote on the main question, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0 on both. We good now?
No, we're not done yet. We have-
Sandy, could you work on getting a voucher?
Yes, I will have them
similar-
printed.
Get those, have them
And
forward.
we're gonna have to have a meeting with you
and then we'll
to
get it printed.
go over it with the department.
Yeah,
Did you hear him?
No, I did not, I'm sorry.
We're gonna need you to come have a meeting with us.
I would
go over
love
it.
to come have a meeting with you, and I'll bring my handy dandy detail up.
I think before we do that, we should wait until the chief comes back and maybe meet with your, you know, your lieutenants and people that are gonna be involved. And
Well,
then
that's
once
what I
we
was getting
get-
at,
Yeah.
not just the whole department. I
Okay.
pretty much the office team
Great.
would definitely have to meet with her about how to
then
fill
you
out
can,
these sheets.
you
and
guys
then-
can explain it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can come down to the Monday night meeting and do it too, if it's,
Yeah.
after we do the officer one, if you want me to, I don't have a problem doing that. And I will help you guys get it implemented.
Yes, we
and
do
get the
need to
paperwork.
find out, remember the money for the,
Well,
to
like
fix
if
the
you
fire
wanted to
truck?
come to
road?
Oh, yes, money for the fire truck. We need to do the fire truck real quick, Sandy. Money for the fire
I gave it
truck.
to her, she's got the budget in hand.
So we're gonna pay it out of the repair line.
I would overexpend the repair line.
No,
Classic
we are
repair.
gonna expend, but don't they have a lot of salary money? Or
So right
We don't know
now,
yet.
this is as of right now, right? Correct? As
That's as of today.
So there's 143,532 left in the bottom line of their budget.
All right.
is that including, hold on, is that including salaries we gotta pay out till the end of the year?
No, those aren't encumbered. So, yeah,
Salaries are encumbered.
no, we don't encumber.
So,
No,
okay,
no,
so the
payroll.
120,000 you got left over, that includes
143.
salaries till the end of the year.
They're included in that number.
You'd have to pay them still out of this remaining amount.
Yeah, I know that, so how much, okay, what I'm trying to get at is,
You're trying to figure out how much
how
this-
much do we have left after we pay the salaries out?
I don't know.
So you got
'cause they
30,000 of that's the stipends, right? 'Cause
Right.
we haven't paid that out yet.
Right.
So that brings it down to 110.
Right, so you gotta.
And then
flip
you
the
gotta
page.
pay, how many more payrolls?
3. And the officer stipends have only been paid out once this year.
Yeah,
So you get 7,000 there to be paid out.
yeah.
And then
That's
you've got
January.
61,000 in the
Okay, next
full-time,
year.
but you only got, you don't have all the full-timers.
Yeah,
So you're
but
not
what
gonna
I'm,
be spending
but
that.
what I'm saying is there's a 22,000 in there to pay for this expenditure. It's
We
still
can afford to
covered.
pay for the fire truck there. Okay.
I believe you can.
I'm just,
Definitely want to make sure,
Just
yeah.
asking
Why
the
do you
question.
pay that out of Sandy? The vehicle, the,
Vehicle maintenance and repair line,
How far will it go over it?
so we're already,
13,000.
in the red, 13,678, and that does not include the 22 in there yet? Just so you know that.
yeah, that's why I'm asking these questions.
Yep. So that's gonna put them, bottom line, okay, it sounds.
I'm thinking.
What was actually budgeted for
Did you
repairs?
take out the SMP or ST safety complex stuff's already in here?
Yeah.
Okay, because that was a pretty good chunk that you guys
So
voted.
you've already taken the safety complex out of there.
Okay. So what is your thoughts in finance as far as, do you
I think
think?
we'll be okay because remember, we only have 2 full-timers now. So we're only gonna spend about half of what's in that line.
Well, the hope is-
Hopefully.
The hope is that the other
Hopefully.
one will apply and come back.
And bottom line, it sounds like this is
supposed
one of
to
their
have
main
already.
fire engines,
I don't
correct?
know.
Jason delivered
What?
it.
This is one of their main
Send a letter yet?
pieces of
It was
Told him, and he
apparatus.
said he would.
Is that the main apparatus?
Engine 1 is first responder. But it's engine 3, which is, that's.
I know we have to fix it. I'm just
Right.
trying to get to how bad a situation we're in. That's what I'm trying
And
to
then bottom line of the total budget today is your remaining 677. 677,557 dollars,
includes all the payroll till the end of the year.
which is how many more payrolls do you have? 3 more payrolls.
To the end of the year, but is that to the end of the fiscal year?
Till
Calendar.
December 31st.
Calendar year.
That's our
Calendar is
fiscal
what
year?
we work off of. Okay? So I don't think bottom line of your
No,
budget.
no, I just want
All
to
right, so you want to make that motion so we can,
make a motion to go ahead and approve the repairs to the fire truck.
do you have a purchase order?
Do we have a purchase order?
Who's doing the repairs?
It's Perkins, the company that we guys already established. We just have to
Would
add.
that have been put in a long time ago? Because I know when
Hold
I
on, there was a
got
purchase
here-
order put in for $7,500.
Right.
But we didn't.
So,
Up
so,
to. And then they had
up
to
to.
come-
And then we had to come back to you guys if it went
So
higher.
I'll make a motion to increase the $7,500 from 7,500 up to 22,500.
22,514.46.
Let's just make it
Is
22.
the estimate that he had. He said, and he said this is an estimate too. so-
22,525.
Did he say that could go up?
An estimate to do this job is $22,514.46. This estimate also includes the 21 hours we have into it now. So that's,
Including what he's already done.
I'm hoping
So
that's
that's
the final-
everything.
I'm hoping that's the final price.
So if it
Right,
goes
okay.
up again, they
But
would
he
need
uses,
to come
he
back.
uses the word estimate.
Estimate, right.
So
I'm just passing
if-
that on.
So if it goes up again, you gotta come back.
So just increase that them initially.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to increase it to?
Whatever the number is. that he gave us for-
$22,600.
22,600.
Above that, they'll have to come back to us.
They
just
go
like the original
above
motion.
that, so they can go up like an extra $50.
So if he ends up with an extra pot or something and he goes over this estimate number,
As long as it's not above that, you're okay.
all right.
You want us to initial this?
Yes, please. For audit purposes. I didn't check on it, but yes.
Okay, I'm gonna touch the end.
All right.
Turn pinch.
So we're good now, we can move on? We all set with the fire department?
No. You have to decide how we're gonna pay last year's.
Pay them out by hour.
We gotta pay it out by the
The
hour.
seven
those seven people, you
We're gonna have to pay them at their hourly rate, correct?
Right.
That's
I would
our
at this
hourly
But
point-
aren't we gonna,
We have to wait till we get.
we gotta
the
wait
amount.
till we get the report.
Okay.
We can't do it till we get the.
More than likely, they're gonna get paid out probably at their hourly rate.
Because,
My goal is to get them paid by next week's payroll. That's
Okay.
my goal.
yep,
It's minimum
I know
hourly labor.
I know she's supposed to come back with the final. She's working all the hours in for everyone, is what I heard.
It's only the 7 that we have to
Oh,
get.
I know, I understand, but the chief said that she's working hours for everyone, and then we might be able to just divide up the 30,000
Into
between,
the hours.
and make everybody hourly, divide the hours up with that 30,000.
As soon as she goes back.
We gotta.
Depending on her, I understand, yeah, no, I
Of
know.
course.
We don't know what the report says
Correct,
yet.
so,
You understand what he's saying?
Yes.
So instead of points, we'd be paying the hours.
Everyone would be
Right.
paid by the hour.
But I think that if that were to happen.
But do
and-
we have the
and
hourly
it's
rates for
be
the other
5 or
people?
6 hours, you may end up getting a much higher number that you didn't have a chance to budget for.
Yeah.
Because it was last
We'll
year.
have to see that, we'll have to see that.
But
The
it's
ones
worth
that we
looking
have
at.
to pay by the hour are the 7, she said.
All right.
Yes.
Those absolutely have to be paid hourly.
Okay.
I think we're gonna stick within the budget now because we just spent 22 something on a fire truck.
I agree.
It was well spent. We should get that fixed.
All right.
And the points would be paid out the same as you guys have always gotten in the past years.
Okay.
Otherwise.
All right, Pete, you're up next.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry to push everybody back, but we got a little bit of a late start. Sorry to make everybody wait.
All this stuff is in that phone.
Yes, yes.
Evening.
All in here.
I know, I know.
Good.
Sandy has a lot of purchase orders that Pete had provided, so they're in here,
Thank you.
just so the board knows.
All right, you guys all set?
Thank you,
All right,
Sandy.
you're very welcome.
All right, Pete, let's try to make this as quick as we can, not to rush you.
The other.
That's okay.
Sounded a little rushy though.
The work that's been done, all the street signs have been put back up, the ones that have been vandalized and stolen. We also put up an arrow sign on Ridge Road where there was an accident on a sharp corner. Charlie spoke to me about that. We made sure that we took care of getting that in place. We've cleaned out a lot of culverts here and there. I've been called in a couple of times for trees down on the weekends, and I did notify the Board of Selectmen that I was out working. The monitor well has been done, and that should be all set. We've taken care of the town marker and the white rocks on Golf Road.
That's so
Tammy,
much better over there now.
Tammy, did you get the pictures?
I did, I
Linda?
just need to have, you come in and I see a line of white rocks, but I can't really tell in that line which
Okay.
one it is. So
Okay.
if you could just point them out with me, Pete, we'll be all set.
Okay. We have had an issue with, on Old Pittsfield Road, in the vicinity of where Bob Clark lives in regards to a culvert that crosses a road that is plugged up. We went up to take a peek at it, and it was raining pretty hard, and he tried to tell me how a town truck backed over the end of the culvert and crushed it, and I could see that I didn't want to stand in 3 feet of water to try to find out why it was plugged or whatnot. And as all of you know, we've had about 4 inches of rain relatively in the last few weeks. All the culverts around are very full. We've had issues with beavers. To date, he's caught 11 beavers. We did get the cutting edges and the plow ready on for the 1-ton truck. I've gone around and marked trees to be cut on Ridge Road and some other roads, some dead trees. We're going to start tree work today, but due to the weather, we didn't, safety issue, we didn't think we should be out there. We're going to start tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I've also marked all the culverts in preparation for road work on Ridge Road, and I did give DJ a list.
I
And
can actually pass it along to them.
good, good.
This is the one I gave you for last time. Everybody got this
Yes.
already?
Okay. We did some work for the rec committee up at the ball field, got that squared away for them. All the culverts are taken out of now, out of Gulf Road, Bull Lake Road, Deerfield Road, and we're pretty well set with that. We still have more beavers on Pig Street. Are you familiar with Pig Street, Old Canterbury Road?
Yeah.
We had to get down there with a log about 30 feet long, an oak log, and try to shove it through the culverts because the beavers had it backed up so bad. Last week we thought that they keep going in there. We thought the road was going to
How many beavers are up there?
be washed out.
Bad.
Well, what the problem is, Scott, is that the beavers are traveling from Old Canterbury Road. They cross Route 4, come up into Kelsey Mill area, and from before that they're coming down from Harvey Lake. Harvey Lake is another issue. I did receive documentation I passed off to the trapper about not trespassing on a person's property in order to set traps. So that has become an issue. And I feel very strongly that there's only one way in and out of Harvey Lake Road. My concern is the town culverts are still running. There is a beaver dam up in a very swampy area. Harvey Lake's a big area. What happens if say we are inundated with water and that wipes that beaver dam out and takes Harvey Lake Road out? Who is responsible?
We can't get to that dam because somebody won't let us get to it because of
Correct.
the property.
Did
Correct.
you get the
Yes, I
email
did.
that I sent you?
Yes, I did.
Is the dam, who owns the dam?
This is a beaver dam. The
The
beavers
beavers
put
made
it.
the dam.
The beavers, okay,
Are you talking about the actual dam?
No,
You're
talking about a beaver dam
beavers.
that's in the swamp.
so the homeowner won't let us go on the land
To
to
set the traps.
set the traps to take care of the beaver dam?
Yep, and who's gonna take the beaver dam out? I mean, do we have to notify Fish and Game? I'm not sure who handles that, if it's on private property.
Well, to be truthful, yeah, I don't know exactly
We
how
have to
that
ask
would
Mike
work.
Madden.
But my concern is if that beaver dam breaks, the amount of water that would come from Harvey Lake if it took Harvey Lake Road out, if it washed it out, how would we ever get those people in and out of there? Do you understand what I mean,
Right,
Scott?
it's a huge safety issue.
It's a huge, and that's why I'm trying to let the board know that I feel very strongly there's a problem.
Maybe we need to contact Fish and Game, see if we can get
Do you
them
want that email? Do you want to look at this email that Tammy
No, I
sent to me?
believe you.
Okay.
What, can we call, what are our rights as far as like if we feel that we have to,
A safety issue.
the safety issues, we feel that we have to go in there and remove the beavers or remove the dam? What are, I mean, you might not know.
I would need to research to find
Yeah.
out. I think every dam it'll be different. I think depending on the property around
How
it.
bad, I mean, you know what I'm saying, like how bad is bad? I mean, I'm not an expert on dams and I don't know what your qualifications are pertaining to dams, but, do we know how bad's the back? Like you're thinking right now the backup's so bad that if it was to wind up wash out the road?
I walked out to where I believe it's the town dam, the state was gonna come inspect that this year. Charlie received notification of that.
Yeah.
He went down to show me where it is. We have to go down a private road on Shore Drive if you go into Harvey Lake Road.
But I think we have access to the town dam. They can't tell us we can't have access to that.
We go into that road there, and the water was at least 1.5 feet above the dam area. The boards were all taken out of the dam area. People are complaining that the water is way up high on their docks around in the area around Harvey Lake. That's how high the water has gotten. My concern is there's such a volume of water that if that ever wipes out, there could be a potential that it takes out Harvey Lake Road. And, that's a large issue.
I know where Harvey Lake Road is, but
Yep.
is it egress? I think is that through road or is that dead end?
It's it's a dead-end road.
So there's no egress out.
No, there is not. And that's why I'm bringing that concern to the board. I'm very concerned about that. I checked that again today. Both culverts that cross the town road, water is flowing very well, but there's a large area up in there that the beavers have dammed up. I mean, they're knocking trees down this big. I mean, and it doesn't, they're pretty smart.
There's hundreds of homes there.
Yes, there are.
We're gonna have to try to see if we can work on that landowner to let us on there.
Well, yeah, but I agree. So,
Okay.
I will be back in the office Friday. I don't know if that's going to be soon enough for this to be dealt with,
Well,
but I'm not here till Friday.
the first issue that I have with getting a trapper, I was notified about a trapper on October 9th. by the
Well,
Board
even
of
if you
Select-
trap, that doesn't resolve your dam issue because the dam's
That's
there,
correct.
right? So you can catch every single beaver, but
We
the
need
dam
to
can
figure
still
out
work.
what our options are and
So
taking
what do
the
we,
dam.
what do we have to
instance.
do to
We need to
correct,
figure out
what do
our
we gotta
options.
do to correct the dam situation? You get rid of the beavers, you still got the dam.
Right, we're still gonna have to.
Okay.
We're gonna have to take it down somehow.
Back to the trapping. I was notified on the 9th of October of who to call for a local trapper. I called them the next morning. It took 2 weeks. It took till the noontime of the 23rd of October to get the paperwork through town offices here so I could let him start trapping. How come it takes so long to,
Because we have no employees.
Well, they don't meet but
We
every
don't-
2 weeks.
We don't have,
Okay.
So if it's over a certain dollar amount,
yep,
what was the dollar amount?
$475.
Well, that shouldn't hold it up.
Okay,
You
it took
froze, you
2,
put a freeze on
Oh,
it.
we froze the
This
budget.
is before we
Okay.
froze the budget.
but, I mean, I guess I don't understand if we're having all these issues with beavers clogging up these culverts on these roads, why can't we have a little faster reaction time to getting something done?
I thought that, if I recall, Pete, when you were coming and talking with me, you were waiting for.
I was
your-
told
your
Chris Brown had to come in and leave his paperwork here with
Right.
Town Hall.
And you tried to contact him multiple times without getting any response, and then you.
I'm not sure, but I just know it took a 2-week period. I think that's, I don't,
Yeah, well-
I'm not happy with that.
Well, yeah, I know, but we have some staffing issues right now.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to let the board know that
Thank you.
I just don't think it was,
I know it's not ideal.
okay.
but we have some staffing issues.
I understand. I know all about the staffing issues. I have the same thing down where I'm at
Yes,
too.
you do.
Speaking of that, we had anybody apply for that position?
No,
The labor position, nobody?
no.
The next question I'd like to ask is, around the first part of October, I did see it in the local newspaper, the Suncook Sun, advertised it. I know it's online and it's also in the New Hampshire municipal site, and then all of a sudden it's not in the local newspaper anymore. I asked 2 weeks ago, how come? The chairman said, I'll take care of that.
I did.
Still not in the newspaper.
I asked Sandy, we said, well, I can't make it ourselves, we have to
Okay.
decide as a board.
Okay.
What is it that you want? I'm sorry, this is the first I'm hearing.
I think that they ought to
Signed
run
a
an ad. in the
purchase
news-
order last week for advertisement in it, for advertisement for the Suncook Sun. Or maybe it's in there, and we just haven't, it's in this pile that we haven't signed.
Okay, okay.
But-
I
So,
just think,
If there's a purchase order that's coming through from a department for advertising, usually the department does the advertising.
I think it's to post the job.
Because it's frozen, because the budget's frozen, so you can't use that line to
Okay.
advertise.
For which position? There's 2 positions over it.
I think, both of them, I think he wants to.
just for help.
Yeah, they're out there. I mean, you guys had them out there. I don't know when the first closing was, but you received nothing in return for the road
Nobody
agent.
filed for application.
We do have one individual that's asked to meet with you guys, which we'll be talking about non-public for road agent, and nobody has applied for the other position.
Okay.
And that's
Okay,
not, it's the same thing in your transfer station attendant. We're just not getting the
Okay.
turnaround,
right.
unfortunately.
Well, my concern is, obviously, we're coming into winter season about plowing the roads. We'll discuss that in a minute. But I did receive a call on Friday night in regards to a beaver culvert on Deerfield Road off of Route 43. The beavers dammed that area up. There's 4 or 5 acres of land that is wetlands that is dammed up. The culvert is now open and flowing at full capacity. There are some people down off in Big Buck Road that are complaining because they're getting so much water down there. The town road, the culvert crosses under the town road and goes down on property owned by the Camp Yavna, and from there, I'm assuming it goes down on a private road on Lucas Pond, which is out of the town's control. But I was down there again today, the water is flowing at full capacity, but we've had so much water. And
Well, yeah, but is it clogged? It's not clogged though, right?
no, it's not, it's running at full tilt.
So,
It's taking all the water it can take.
okay.
That's the right of way I called you on.
Correct.
Did you
On
tell
Friday.
her? I mean, I'm not, I should sometimes learn to keep my mouth shut. It's raining a lot. There's gonna be
Yeah.
excess water. I mean, I got puddle, I got
I
ponds in my
My
yard.
lawn was.
My
understand.
whole lawn is like a pond.
Yeah. Well,
So
the-
I don't
This
know.
is acres of wetland
So it's wetlands.
and it's around people's homes, but it's
But is-
crossing the town road.
Yeah, but is it, so you're saying the town road's underwater there?
No, it's not.
It's just crossing through the culvert?
It crosses through the culvert, but what goes on private property, down further on the land, beyond Camp Yard.
But is the private property, I'm just asking some
Yep.
informational questions. Is the town, you just said the property, even though it's private, it's still wetlands, right?
The wetlands where the water is pooled up now is a wet area.
Yeah.
Where it's going down on this private road, I don't have any idea.
Yeah, because I mean, if
haven't
we were to
gone
look
down on
at those maps, they show if they're wetlands or not.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if the area that it's in is like normally seasonal wet areas.
I don't know, it's a private road, I haven't been down there.
And I guess, I've been here, well, yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing about, somebody bringing this to my attention,
Okay, which is good.
Yes.
which I wasn't, stuff like this was never brought to my attention before.
Okay.
You need to schedule a ride with Pete.
But it's good for us to be informed. This is important for
I've
us to
been
know.
for several. You need to go for a ride with Pete to see how far our infrastructure really is behind.
Anyhow, we're doing pretty good on the beavers. We'll move on from that. But we have two areas, like I said, Harvey Lake Road and Pig Street. He's taken a canoe now to set his traps, and the water's so deep you can't. It's hard to get the traps underwater. And I certainly don't want to lose any roads. The things that we talked about, the tree work will start tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. We have hauled half of our gravel.
Now, let me ask you another question,
Go ahead.
which the rain hasn't been that, the rain's bad, but there hasn't been any declarations of flooding.
Nope.
I think the beavers are making it worse.
Yeah.
In some places they are, but the water is deep. Today, the phone has rung nonstop with.
Because I was
people
going to
calling,
say,
complaining
if we
about
got like,
high water.
if it got really, really high water, like flood conditions,
Yep,
then if there's a emergency declared by the governor's office,
yep.
then federal funds are available, but we're not, but it's
We're
not,
not there. Nope.
but we're not there.
We have another beaver issue down on High Street off in Route 107. We can't reach over the guardrail to get down in there to push a log through to get what the beavers are built up through there. The water is running over that stuff right now.
So how do you
The
want to, what's your suggestion?
I tried calling Sweet Logging to see if he could come over with his log truck and stick a log through there. He said he's too busy, he can't. So I'm going to try some other avenues when the water recedes a little bit. Also, we've hauled half of the gravel, half of the $5,000 that I asked for on the dirt roads. We're going to hopefully continue next week. Thursday, we're going to be busy putting plows and sanders on. That'll be my next question for you. Guardrail work is scheduled for next week, pending on the weather. Dig Safe has been called, and they told me tentatively the week of Thanksgiving to do our guardrail work. The salt bin is full. We did get 3 loads. In pushing the salt in, just pushing ahead, one of the walls, there's a sand bay, a salt bay, and the third bay the sand is hanging in. That wall fell over. I stayed the night of voting and took the tailgate off the dump truck, backed in and got the sander in there, pulled that out of the way, moved the salt, took a chain and pulled the 3-inch wide planks at about 14 feet long. They're very heavy. I probably shouldn't have been doing it alone. Got those out of the way, moved the salt, the third load of salt came. It was raining in the afternoon. Put it in the bay where the sander was and repaired that wall that evening. Got it back up so we could get the salt situated back into the middle bay where it goes. Anyways, that's something that we're going to have to work on repairing better, I think, in the summertime when the bins aren't full. What has happened is that in between these 3-inch thick planks, there are 2x4s that are nailed to the 8x8 beams on each side. What the nails rotted off, their spikes or whatever, they just rotted off, and without actually pushing on it with our backhoe, just the weight of the salt tumbled that wall over. But that has been taken care of. Okay, the next thing I want to know about, since you're going to be talking about a road agent calls, they're calling for snow Thursday night and Friday of this week. I've talked to our snowplow, the subcontractors. I'll talk about that in just a second. Who's going to be talking, who are the police going to be calling in the middle of the night? Who is Rockingham County going to be calling in the middle of the night? The school bus people will start calling at 4:45 in the morning. They're very diligent about calling Charlie to make sure the roads are all set. I've already talked to the janitor at the elementary school, Tom, and he and I are on the same page. If something needs treating first thing in the morning, he'll let us know by 6 a.m. Who are going to be taking these calls?
Well, I was, you're putting in for all your hours, right?
Yeah.
So, I thought until we had a road agent, you were gonna handle some of this stuff and we were gonna pay you on it.
I am handling a lot of stuff, Scott, but I can't work here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Are you people asking me to come in at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and check in the roads? Are you gonna work it out with the police department to call?
Usually the police department calls, isn't that the way it normally works?
Yeah, you don't have to check them, they'll get a call if they get bad.
Okay. Okay,
That's
that's
the way
what I'm
it
trying to
works.
find
So
out,
the
because
police will
Rockingham
contact
County,
him then. That's
the
what he's asking.
Rockingham
That's
County,
the way-
that's what I'm trying to find out.
The police should contact him.
I think-
As of now.
yeah, as
until
of
we
now,
appoint
until we
a-
get-
appoint a
Who's
road
gonna
agent.
call all the plow guys and stuff in? Who's gonna handle all those responsibilities?
The road agent calls the plow guys, correct? It wasn't the, that's what
Well,
it
we
was.
always had, I mean, theoretically, Charlie was a full-time employee plus the road agent.
Yep,
So the road agent was responsible for calling all the guys in.
okay.
We don't have a road agent.
So
Right now.
Probably
Would
Chairman.
you like to be
probably
a
Chairman
road agent for a
DJ.
month and have him do it for a
Chairman
month and you do
DJ.
it for a month? And I'll take it for a month?
I call not it.
We'd be having
I
2-hour
call-
delays at school.
I call my month in April. I'll take April
Okay.
after March.
I'm just asking, Scott.
I'll take
No,
it after March.
I understand.
Okay, here are the plow routes. Here's where we're going. Here's where I'm going with this. Last year, we lost one 6-wheeler with a plow and a wing. Dave Dock only had one truck that was big truck that was fit for the road. So Charlie switched the routes around so that the F550 did Ridge Route, Bow Lake Road.
Is that what you'd like to do?
That's
Would you like to
that
stick
area.
with that same plan?
The route that I do is normally down on the mountain route area, which is down off Route 43. My route was added to from Bow Street down that way, all those roads. And we have Mr. Damaris that's a subcontractor. He'll open up some of the roads and I'll go back through with the plow and the wing. A little 1-ton truck doesn't have enough material to sand or treat a lot of these longer roads. And that's what I'm shooting for right now, okay? Docco's 2 trucks will do the Narrows area and Blake's Hill area. Myself and Damaris will do from Bow Street to the mountain area. And the Ridge area will be Stewart. And the other name that I'm going to bring up, I've talked with Bob Kaffmeyer, who is a subcontractor. He said that he would come in and offer to drive the town truck, but I told him I needed to ask the Board of Selectmen.
He has to be an employee.
Okay, we need to get this squared
Can we
away.
hire Stewart?
Stuart's part-time.
Get 2 trucks.
Stuart's
We
part-time.
got 2
but
trucks.
So we just-
Charlie's truck.
So you just hire, you're gonna
hire him
have to
temporary.
hire him part-time, temporary.
Okay.
For the winter.
Is he,
He's got all the, he plowed for us last year, he just doesn't have a truck.
can you
Oh.
get him to fill out the,
We
get him to-
can't wait for the background check.
I know you can't
He's
wait.
already got- he
but
should have
is
an
this somebody-
application.
Is this somebody that you're gonna have on call for the season?
You should have all that information anyways.
So what I'm,
Stewart.
no,
What's
we don't
Stewart's
have
title?
Stuart Yee.
No, but what's his
Stuart,
title?
what's his last name?
He's
Is
an
he-
on-call plow driver, and right now he's filling in labor, and he's doing a very good job. He's been very, very helpful
Stuart
in the
Smith.
time that he comes in to
So
help.
are you looking for an additional on-call plow driver, which would be this Mr. Kathmeyer?
We've been looking for a road laborer too. My
Yes.
point was that I haven't seen it in the newspaper, so nobody probably even knows we're looking for help.
It never was put in the newspaper?
It was.
3 weeks ago, hasn't been in since.
Because it didn't, when did it close? Didn't it just recently close, like
I
a
get
couple
the
days
newspaper
ago?
at my house every Wednesday. I haven't seen it for 3 weeks.
Right, so what towns normally do is you'll put one out, and
Till
then
we
it
fill
takes
it.
4 weeks before you would put another one out, because it takes that long for the process. And usually, like if you put an ad out, you'll say the position is open until, we'll take applications till November 16th.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is Tammy, time's getting very
I
short. They're
understand.
calling for snow on Thursday night, so
So
the
do you
decision
want
needs
an
to be made.
on-call, is what you're looking for, Pete? Another on-call plow to
If
fill that
Bob
void?
Halfmeyer.
All right, what I'm
would
saying,
drive
all I
the
was trying to
Yep.
say was, we can bring on Bob Kaffmeyer.
To
He needs to
drive
fill out an application.
That's it, though.
He needs to fill out an application, and he has to fill out a background check, but we'll let him work pending the background.
So in other words, he can work, but if it comes back,
But it comes back and he has some issues, then
we have to let him go.
we have to let him go,
Which won't be an issue.
which probably does it.
Okay.
Right.
So if we don't get Mr. Kaffmeyer, since we haven't had any applicants or anyone to come in to drive this truck, that truck will be parked. That's what you're telling me?
Well, wait a second, Pete, just excuse me.
Okay.
Did you just say this man said he would drive for you?
He said that, he said, well, who's gonna drive the other truck? I called all our
No, did he
subcontractors.
say he would drive the town truck?
He said that he would, yes.
Okay, in order for him to drive the town truck,
Yep,
he has to be a town employee.
okay.
So if he wants to come in, we will hire him. He has to
Just
fill
for
out
the
an app, just for this winter. We'll hire him as a temporary employee. In order for him to get hired, he needs to fill out an application.
Yep. I'll call
Once
him
he
in the
becomes a
morning.
town employee, then he'll be covered under our insurance.
Then he can drive our truck.
Then he can drive our truck, as long as he's got the proper credentials.
Okay,
And if he gets the application in before, if he could get it in by Friday, Pete, I'm trying to get the board to have a Monday night meeting, because
Okay.
we have so much on the
He'll
Now,
table.
miss
the
this
other
time.
thing too is when he comes in, he also has to fill out a background check. And we'll let him work pending the background check, assuming that I'm assuming he's okay, because normally they are, but it's just a
We've done one on it
procedural.
before, I'm sure. it'll be fine.
So,
okay.
Hopefully he can come in.
Well,
has he ever been an employee?
Yes.
He
Because
has?
you might be down Thursday if you have a storm, Pete.
No, I won't be
But
down.
if he's
I
a
won't be
contractor, he
No, he's
wouldn't,
never been
okay.
an
The
So he hasn't.
department will be down.
So have him come in, fill out the application, fill out the background check.
Yep,
And then we can, as soon as we approve them hiring him, he can work.
And if
We're
there
having
was
a
a
meeting Monday.
storm Thursday, I just explained that it looks as though there'd be he'd be down one driver.
You're gonna be one driver Thursday.
Luckily, it's not gonna be a crazy bad storm.
But if he gets in here before Monday, we can get everything in place, the selectmen
And
can
you're only gonna miss
motion
one
that
storm.
night, and things can go from there forward, okay?
I'll lose it for one storm, hopefully.
If
Okay.
he gets in and applies.
the big dump truck last winter was broke down a lot. We were, it was at the garage a lot. It's been broke down a lot this summer. We did get a new turbo put in it by a local garage. The truck seems to be running fine now. But I just want to make the board aware that if that truck goes down this winter, where we're really short on a big 6-wheel truck, we should have had another a subcontractor in line this summer with a 6-wheel truck with a plow and a wing, not waiting until the first week of November to do that, in my opinion. I think we're behind the 8 ball on that bad.
But if you put somebody on a contract and you don't give him work,
Yep.
he's gonna leave.
Yep. But I also understand that these 1-ton trucks with these small plows, they, like I said, on long roads, you don't have enough treatment on a 1-ton truck to treat the whole road, and you're not getting the snow back far enough to begin with, because they don't have a wing on that road. And if I have to go around and, like the next day, on some of these larger storms this last winter, I was on the mountain 8 or 9 times. I documented my time. It takes me over 3 hours to do the route that I'm doing now. It doesn't take a mathematician to figure out how many hours that you're actually out there. And you still have to go back and push back a lot of other routes the next day and properly sand the dirt roads the way they should be sanded. I just want to make the board aware of that if that 6-wheeler goes down this winter, there'll be
It's
a
gonna
lot of,
hurt.
it's gonna
So
hurt.
what do you wanna do, hire a 6-wheeler now?
You're not gonna find anybody now with a 6-wheeler, I don't believe. It should have been taken care of this summer.
Okay, but what I'm
Okay.
saying is, you say you got a problem now, I'm trying to help you solve the problem now.
Yep.
You're telling me it's unsolvable.
It's only a problem if we break
If the
it.
truck breaks, that's all.
So we just cross our fingers and toes that it don't break.
Okay.
And eyes.
I can't cross my eyes.
Okay, has anything been done with the compost pile at the transfer station?
Well, I don't know if
What do you mean by done?
It needs to be gone.
It needs to be taken out. But we
It
can't
was
find
way out
anybody
into
to
the
take it.
parking lot when I got to work this morning, piles of leaves, that
Yeah.
we're running out of
Find anybody
space
to
to
take
pile
it.
it.
So what do you do?
Who
So
usually
people's
takes
got
that?
compost, what do
We
you do?
we used Dirt Doctor for the longest time. I don't know what's changed. And this is something that you'd have to ask Dirt Doctor. They used to come in and take it for nothing, and usually they'd give us a 10-wheeler load of bark mulch in return because they would just turn it over into bark mulch. But now they don't want it. Is that correct?
I haven't been involved with
That's
any
who
of those
used to
calls.
do it. Dirt Doctor used to come and take it for nothing, and they'd give us something back. Well, we didn't ask for anything.
Well,
back.
we're
They
running
would
out
just
of
do it.
room in that area.
Yeah, so we need to find somebody that will take it. if
Also,
any.
the logs on Sherburne Hill, what's been done about that? That's been an ongoing thing all summer.
Oh, on Spike's property?
Yeah,
Oh, I think we're
Okay.
gonna take care of those.
So can we go back, who's gonna find a compost pile person? See, we're talking about this stuff, but we're really not making progress because I don't know, is this something Pete's gonna do, something I'm gonna do, something one of you are gonna do? How is this gonna get taken care of?
Is it the transfer station's responsibility?
It would be.
That's normally, so
It should be,
call Joe Wheeler, is that what you would like?
Joe Wheeler is a part-time employee down there. I went in to the transfer station Sunday afternoon at 3:30. There were 7 cars there in line and all the containers were full. Rick, our gentleman that's hauling our trash, came in yesterday, picked up the trash, the furniture, and the demo containers.
Yep.
Snitzer is going to come in on Thursday and pick up the metal container. The 2 employees down there now have all they can do just to keep maintaining at the transfer station.
So
Doesn't
it
have a
needs
lot
to
of
be an
free time to
outside
call.
vendor that's gonna come in and do this, at a cost of whoever.
Right.
Okay.
I just
we're
want to
not
make the
looking for
board
them
aware
to
that
get,
it's
I'm
very-
not, I wasn't looking for them to get rid of it themselves. I'm looking for him to call this person to get rid of it.
Oh,
Would he know who to call then?
Right. Well, he's Dirt Doctor. It should be a
who
number.
has taken care of this in the past? Was it the transfer station
It was the
attendant?
transfer station
So
supervisor.
they're supposed to know to do this.
It probably hasn't been done since, when was it? Probably hasn't
It
been
hasn't
done
been picked up in the 3 years that I've worked here.
since the last supervisor was in.
Okay, let's go on to road complaints. I've had multiple ones on Old Pittsfield Road in regards to this culvert by Bob Clark's.
Okay.
Today on Bow Street, the water was over 3 or 4 inches going across the road. All the culverts were full in the lower end of Bow Street. We've had a lot of rain. I want to make the board aware of that. Allen Farm Road, in regards to the culverts that didn't get replaced on the end of the road, they have sunk down quite a bit. The people, just since the road freezes up, that road's rough enough as it is in the wintertime. Ridge Road, I was out measuring culverts. I had a gentleman stop that lives on Tasker Hill Road, but in Stratford, and I thought the poor guy was going to start crying. He almost tipped his motorcycle over on Saturday due to the rough conditions on Ridge Road. And we have gone out and patched with hot top some of the holes, and we've gone out with cold patch and patched other holes on that road. Old Barnstead Road, we've had complaints that it's been rough. We've gone over with our town backhoe and hauled gravel and our York rake and tried to get it smoothed back up. On Mountain Road, there's an area up there that washes. The concern is it washes across someone's driveway up there. I don't know if some erosion stone in the spring and do some reshaping there would slow the water down in that area or not.
Are these like budget proposals you got?
No, they're not. They're complaints that I'm dealing with every day. Since you don't have a road agent, I assume that you folks want to know what was going on a daily basis. If you don't, I'll be quiet.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I've also had complaints on Lucas Pond with water in the road as well. I know that road has been ditched a couple of times over the past few years. There's still issues. Also today, I went to use the printer. The printer ran out of ink. The printer is needed on a daily basis. Tomorrow, Joe cannot run his report for the credit card machine. We don't have any ink. I was told this morning that the budget is froze to go ask Sandy. Sandy said I need to ask the Board of Selectmen to get some ink for the printer.
They need ink. I say yes, get ink.
Go ahead.
You need
You
like
need-
one bright spot in your day.
In the amount of time that it took me to take the time to come up and try to get through red tape of getting the ink, it paid for the ink. I wasn't out doing my job. And I'm sorry that we didn't have any spare ink cartridges there, but in the spring I'll buy them by the 5-gallon pail, I guess.
Well, I guess you kind of took the position over at a really bad time, right when we froze the budget. This is things that normally the person that's in that position should have planned for before the budget got froze, so we weren't
Okay,
in this predicament.
okay.
And I would recommend in the future, when the selectmen decide to freeze the
We
budget.
can change that amount.
you over $200, and so that allows the department to continue to buy the
Little
small
stuff,
things that
right.
they have to make
So they
it
can still
through.
function?
Generally what happens is most of these departments will come in right before budget,
Come in and they,
freeze budget, and they have
They
a
spend
stack of
everything.
it. But you
They
didn't
put
have a
in the
chance
stack.
because
Yeah,
that
but
was
if
literally
you
the day
put
that you
small
started.
amounts, you'd be okay.
Mr. Obie hasn't got down to wire up the shot compressor. I'm hoping that he will very soon. I'm on his shot list of doing that.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about some budget items now? Do you have that list that you want to go through?
Sure.
I gave it to you guys already.
yeah, I didn't bring it in.
I have one extra you guys can share.
Okay, I've got a pretty good grasp of it.
The first items we'll talk about are maintenance items. The 1 ton, it's a 2000 Chevrolet. The rear body has a lot of rust holes in it. It's going to need either a new body or repair work. I don't know what the longevity of that truck is. Does anyone know how long we're going to keep this 2007
I
Chevy?
believe we were supposed to be going for a new truck this year on the warrant article as part of the CIP.
Okay,
Well, I know
we're
that
talking
there
about a
was,
1
there
ton.
was nothing from the
So,
highway department
Pete-
submitted to the
Nothing's been
CIP
submitted.
this summer.
Pete's not the department head, and I just want to
Okay.
explain
No.
something to Pete, because how the budget works. That might be a good idea. So, I'm willing to put these in the budget, but do you understand how, you know the whole thing about the Senate Bill 2 and
No, I just
Okay,
know that if you have
so-
$12,000 in your maintenance line and you use it up, we spent $19,000 on the big dump truck this year for maintenance so far. I know that once that money's gone, you can't. you
No,
don't
but
have
what
enough money to
happens
spend.
is like, so if we put a lot of money in your budget
Yep,
and it goes up, and I'm not saying, I don't know, I haven't seen the final budget yet, we're
Yep.
working on that. But what happens is, we have a default budget, which is based on last year's actual numbers.
correct.
So what happens is if we make the budget too high, you might get the default budget and get stuck with last year's budget.
Okay,
So as of
So then what
today,
what happens is, sometimes all these stuff you're asking for, you can't get because the budget didn't pass.
so as of today, just so the board knows, the highway administration budget is $15,000 remaining in it.
Okay,
So you got 3 more payrolls and all the other activities.
so we
Your
could buy this all this year.
paving and reconstruction, well, no, 15,000 from
I mean, we don't have a lot of money left, is that what you're saying?
Right. You got $15,000 and you have, what, a month and a half still to go for, that's the administration piece. Then you have 54,000 under your paving and reconstruction, and you have $3,000 under highway cleaning and maintenance. So you're pretty tight right now, except for the middle piece.
So we would have to put this in next year's budget.
right.
The Ridge Road one is, he wanted to give you an idea of what it would actually cost to pave Ridge Road, because that was one of the roads we wanted to pave.
Right, when
this
we
year.
asked about that.
So we probably should put that $100,000 warrant out.
I think we need to.
Yeah.
We're so, I mean, you really, I told Beth this the other day, a couple weeks ago, you should schedule a ride with
No,
Pete
I
and take a ride
drive
and
down
see.
Ridge Road and
Not
Sherman
just
Hill.
Ridge Road, all these other side roads that you probably don't go down on a regular basis.
No, I know there's some bad roads in town.
So you want a warrant article for what?
Well, we've been putting in, last several years, putting in an extra $100,000 to play catch up on the roads.
It's a standard warrant article, Sandy should have it, it's the same one we've been doing every year. So, we've been doing it every year,
So is there a truck in the CIP who's putting the
I
warrant
guess
out?
they didn't come forward with that,
They
Charlie
didn't.
didn't bring it forward.
There's been no money, there's been nothing
CIP
submitted.
was due
That was,
June-
again, not
The
you.
CIP was due
Yeah, yeah.
July 1st.
And nothing.
And nothing
got
went-
forward.
Well,
Not
okay,
only was the
Okay,
CIP.
if we need a truck,
We should go for it, that was the
so
plan.
we need to write a warrant article for the truck.
Whoa. November 19th is the last day for the warrant articles to be pulled together and then approved to go to budget committee with the opened articles of the ending year-end amounts that Ginger talked about tonight and the safety complex. There has to come a point where there's an end on the warrant articles because you're gonna get yourself in
So many of them.
trouble. It's just all of a sudden, you know, you have deadlines for a reason so that everybody can meet them, and unfortunately, he's not the only department that hasn't met that deadline, which we'll be talking about during the warrant presentation later to kind of get caught up and to try to now start to get all the quotes and everything that the budget committee members are looking for.
So you're saying no truck this year?
I think who's going to get out there in the matter of a week or two quote out a truck? It doesn't happen that
So
fast.
if we don't do the
Scott.
truck this year, can we work on some of the other things? Like, he
Yeah.
can't go around with
Hang
driving
on-
with
hang on a
bald
second,
weathered
please.
tires. They have cracks. That's not safe.
Hang on just a second. I know that Charlie got a quote from International. They had the state bid this year. That information, I'm sure, was brought up here to town hall.
I have the budget
You better
warrant
remember too, the
folder.
town administrator.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
She's filling in.
I'm not back. I'm
I
not
have-
backing, Scott.
No,
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 Look how
I'm just trying to
tired
tell
we're
you,
making
right.
her.
We're struggling.
We're making her tie-in.
We're struggling here.
costing me. I have everything, this was handed to me from Kate.
Okay.
There's nothing
So,
in here for the highway department.
Question for us, Scott, you
That's all I can tell you.
There's a copy down at the shop. I'll see to it. It's here
Could you
tomorrow.
bring that in?
Yes.
I have a question for you, Scott, and this, you might not know this, but when they came to us, now last year, when they first brought the warrant articles, they brought them both to us. They brought us the truck one and the backhoe one.
Yeah.
And we told them to choose which one they wanted.
They got the backhoe last year.
Yes, correct. So theoretically, if we were to go back and look at that warrant article, there should be a dollar amount there that they tried to get last year for the truck.
Pete said he has one. He's gonna bring up a
It's in the
copy.
desk down there. I
Because
thought
I know
all
they,
that stuff was up here.
they went for them
But
both
is
last year,
that,
and we told them.
but is that truck from, is that quote from last year? or is
No.
It's
that-
at 20%.
No,
It's a
This
new
year?
one.
I believe it is.
So we'll be all set. I will put in here that you're going to bring forward a number for the,
I'll bring up the
Truck.
information that is in that.
And that warrant article was
International
written
file.
last year, we just
She's,
didn't put it on the
she's
ballot.
not here tomorrow, so we should bring it to Sandy?
Yes.
just, all he needs to do is put it in my box and I'll get it Friday when I come in.
Very well.
So Pete, is this to replace the 2006 or the 2007? The 1 ton or the
The
international?
big truck,
Big truck.
That's the international?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
What I've tried to do is go over some maintenance items that we're really hurting on, Scott, because I'm afraid that the maintenance line budget next year is already gonna be shot, and we haven't even started. And that's why I've tried to take the time to go over these things that I see that are failing, so that the board is aware, oh my God, we gotta fix this. And you haven't heard any of this stuff before?
No, a lot of it we haven't,
Okay.
a lot of it's new.
Yeah, but I never heard.
Okay, I'm just trying to be as helpful as I can.
No,
No, we need this.
Okay.
It's just, it's a lot to take in at once.
Yep, well, I've been, both my feet have been, they haven't been up on the desk all day long either, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
I'm sure.
yeah, I'm not getting, I hope I don't come across as,
You're not.
no, I'm like,
You know,
wow.
I can throw you a dog bone if I get mad.
No, we're just like, oh my goodness, this is like,
How's that? Huh?
Wow. I'm going home.
ba-dum-bum.
All right. On that note, I think this is a good practice to have once a quarter, you coming in and give us an update.
Okay, unless you get a road agent in place.
For now, you're
I'm
gonna take the calls.
I'm doing the very best that I can, and when I get called out either by the police or whatever, I make sure that I either.
And I
been texting
appreciate
him.
the effort you put in.
Okay.
I
You're going truly above and
Yes.
beyond.
going beyond the call of duty.
Okay, well, I'm doing the best that I can with the help that I
So let
have.
me ask you a question. You're on the topic of road agent. Do you want to be a part of us appointing that? Would you like to meet the person that may want to come in and be the road agent?
I think it would be very wise of the board to include me.
I agree.
Because I mean,
Scott, what do you got
sounds
to
like
say
we're going
about
to
that?
talk about somebody putting in for it later.
Okay.
So,
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I know, and so.
Anyways, the first item on your list, I won't spend a lot of time, but the 1-ton body is falling off that truck. We need to do some repair on it. The plow that goes on the front of that truck, we just put a new cutting edge on.
So this is money you want to put in the maintenance line.
I know right now we're gonna need to be doing this work in
So
the
you want to
spring.
add these,
I don't know how much, is it $12,000 in the maintenance line? If we don't get a dump truck, I'm sure that we'll be spending a lot of money on that. That body's about ready to fall off that truck as
Maybe
well.
we need to add another 10,000 to that line.
Well, it looks like he's got two.
So we had 12,500 for maintenance repair trucks last year. Problem is, I didn't bring the budget in here tonight, because I didn't know we were gonna be going over budget items. Thank you. So do we know that the money that was put in the budget won't cover this, Pete? Do you know that?
Well, if you just start adding stuff up, you'll see that it's gonna be darn close, and that's not really what doing anything.
That's not even counting.
Right, that's not what will happen.
Also, we noticed last week, just in using the backhoe, we have been out on the roads trying to do some things. One of the rear tires in the sidewall, there is a slice. It isn't leaking. We are watching it. I just wanted to let the board know, if that tire goes flat this winter, we're gonna have to get a tire on the rear of it.
Would,
Can you tube those?
I don't think so.
I'm just wondering if
Yep.
you put it on.
I mean, if it was a
what's
nail.
those, how much are those ties? They're like huge, aren't they?
No, probably $1,000, $1,200
As
a
you
piece.
think.
But I just wanted to make the board aware that there is a small issue going with that. We're almost ready to do our first service on it. We have purchased the filters. I'll change the oil in it myself. Anyways, the 1-ton plow is bent, and there's a lot of wear in the mow board. We're out actually plowing large paved roads with that. It takes a lot of wear and tear on that. I don't know if it's gonna be able to go another winter or not. The large international sander, the sander itself has started, the floor has worn, it's getting some holes in the floor. We were hoping to do that this summer, get the floor, take the floor out, it bolts in, there's 9 bolts on each side. Gotta take the tail off the sander to get that out, take it down to the welding shop down on Route 4 down here, and they said that they could cut the old floor, stainless steel floor off and replace it. Hopefully, it won't catch any material in there with the chain turning and tear that floor up. If it does, we're out of business this winter.
Well, do we need okay, so,
So these 3 items, you're asking to be added to the 2019 budget?
It's gonna have to be done if we make it through this winter with that.
how much is a sandless?
I have no idea.
You should go.
So
for
you're
a-
saying we could fix this, but it might not work?
No, I'm not saying that.
Well,
I know that
okay.
it can be fixed.
Can
The
be
floor
fixed.
can be taken out and a new
But you had
piece of
said something
stainless.
about if it catches.
This winter, if we're using
Oh.
that
Because it hasn't been
truck,
fixed yet.
Okay.
if that if the material catches that chain as it's
I'm not
going
an
on-
expert with
I
that.
understand.
In other words-
It'll
in
peel
other
that
words-
floor up.
We're way behind, not this.
I get it,
behind
we're
on a lot
behind
of
You
our
break it
maintenance.
this winter and make it
We're
worse, so like
behind
you can't
on
fix
a
it.
lot of our maintenance, on a lot of everything.
This is infrastructure that has probably not
Deteriorated for
had...
a long time. It's not just a year ago, it's
Right.
a
And
while.
now Pete's trying to bring it to your attention to let
Which
you
is
know.
fabulous.
So the bad part is it's gonna seem like we're putting a lot of money in the budget, and people
Well,
aren't gonna understand why.
It's been, the truth of the matter is, it's been going on for years.
So is there some numbers that the board would like me to inform?
I think he
Sandy?
still has more numbers though.
We need to take this all in and maybe discuss this on Monday, because there's so much,
Thank you.
So
much information I'm trying to absorb right now.
Yep.
So
that it's just-
everything on this page then? The 3
Yes.
things at the bottom as well?
The York rake, you heard me say we're out with the York rake?
Yes.
On Old Bastard Road this week. We don't have a grader. We're out there roughing the road up, and we take the York rake to smooth it up afterwards. The York rake needs some teeth. They're $975. I priced them out this summer, and we could change those teeth. The 2 tires are both bald and all weather cracked. We have to blow them up every time we leave the yard. We shouldn't be fooling around with something like that. We should get some tires on it and fix the teeth. The backhoe, a safety thing, when the backhoe came, something that we realized after we got it, they sell side mirrors so you can see. There's a mirror, like a rear view mirror in your car up here. The backhoe boom is behind you. It'd be a good safety thing if we got those side mirrors on that machine. Okay? And they make a bolt-on metal kit with rubber pieces that go over hard rubber over the front tires, so the stuff doesn't splash up all over the hood. And I think that would be another good thing. And the cost of those 2 items, there's something that we could put on, but through the dealer, and you can't. I tried researching online. They're about $1,100 for those items.
Can I go back? I have one question.
Go
On
ahead.
the York rake,
Go ahead.
so it has 66 teeth need to be replaced.
Yeah, they're all worn.
That's the whole thing.
The whole thing. The whole York rake.
Basically,
Just the
yeah,
teeth.
66 teeth on the rig.
You can put new teeth on the rig
New
itself?
teeth and bolts, we just torch the old bolts.
I don't,
Go ahead.
it might be a dumb question.
Go ahead.
How much is a New York rate?
I couldn't tell you.
Because if replacing the teeth's $975, you can get a brand New York rate for like $1,200.
Yeah, I think you're way off.
I don't know,
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Most towns replace their teeth.
They just replace their teeth.
Every other
I
year.
don't know, I'm asking.
no,
I'm glad to see you smile.
I'm openly admitting,
Okay.
I don't know, I'm just asking a question, I'm not a truck
All right.
guy.
I understand.
All right, so those things totaled up for
About that
10,179.
10 grand.
But then, we still had to get the septic.
Right?
I'm
Remember
okay
the
with
first
that.
time you met me? Who are you? Whose truck is that? You said to me. I was broke down over here on Bow Lake Road, with a little hydraulic. Who are you? He said.
You're out of
Okay.
compliance for insurance.
I'm just trying to get knowledge.
Okay.
Like, stop it, you're killing me.
Okay, my next item is what's going to happen to the 2006 International, the big dump truck.
Yeah.
We spent $19,000 in repairs this year alone. That's a payment on a truck. If you think about that.
Didn't we just say we're gonna put a warrant article on?
I don't know, are we going to?
If you give me the
If
information.
you get her that information.
When I brought this information up, it was 2 weeks ago, DJ said, get it up there so that we can discuss it at this meeting. But then I
Yes.
found out it was closed to a meeting, we can't. But I did hustle.
Yes.
I did hustle around to try to get the information.
Sometimes I get.
So what I'm saying is if we put a warrant article on for a new truck,
Yep,
all we can do is hope the town passes.
I understand that. Okay, down at the shop, the septic tank has never been pumped. It needs to be pumped.
Yes.
We
Now
can
we
take
can
care
take
of
care of out
Well,
of this
Is
budget.
it too late?
Call
this year
Lance.
to- Can you go ahead and?
Does
I think we
Lance-
can take that out of this year's budget. It's
No,
fine.
Doug does
Okay,
it.
I'm just saying, at least I'm trying to plan ahead.
Can you go ahead and call Lance and get that scheduled?
I don't know.
Great. It's done, it's
Doug
out of the
does it, so
budget.
it's mine.
I don't care who does it.
Our outside skid tank,
Lance doesn't know.
All right, just trying to talk here.
our outside skid tank where we get fuel for our
We've given you, we gotta,
So septic can get
how
done.
much more stuff we got?
we gotta talk about all the culverts on Ridge Road, that you know so much about Ridge Road.
Well,
How many
what's
culverts
the
are on?
skid tank one first?
The skid tank, the outside skid tank. See the rust in this filter right here? We have a $100,000 backhoe, and that's the kind of crap that's going in that tank from that old rusty tank. We have picked the tank up and we drained all the rust and stuff out of it and burned that in the burn pit. We need to replace that tank.
How much is the tank?
A tank, I got a
Is it like
price.
an oil tank, a gas tank?
$1,500.
16.
That's on your list right
How
now.
was that?
Right here. Northwood Oil
I
said
just
they're
bought
selling.
one.
This right
Northwood
here.
Oil's gonna sell us a tank at their cost, a tank and a pump. But I wanna put it in a concrete, do you know what I'm
Supposed
talking
to
about?
be in one.
Okay. Unfortunately, that email didn't come through from Mitchie Corp on that containment. Now, do you wanna talk about road stuff and paving?
I thought we were gonna go, well, we are going to put the $100,000 warrant article.
Okay, it's not gonna be enough, tell you right now. Not to pave what you told me you wanna pave.
What will $100,000 get us?
I don't know.
See, this is one thing though, we can't, if you ask for too much,
I understand
you
that
might
too.
get nothing.
So we may have to change the roads that we
We
do.
might have, well, we can do portions.
All right, it's all written down there what the cost
Yep.
for the paving was this year,
The last
and I
page.
have the footages on there for what you said you wanted to pave this year, Scott. It's plain to see you don't have half enough money. And that doesn't count any ditching, tree work. Look at all those big pine trees on Ridge Road up above Tasker Hill Road. Somebody needs to help me advise me on that. How many metal culverts do you want to change? They're all written down by telephone pole number, and I marked them on the road. Telephone poles don't move, that's a good marker there. 18 culverts on that road, okay? Our culvert line is $2,000. That will just cover the culverts that need to be done on Allen Farm Road. Never mind the culverts that are already failed down on Old Turnpike Road. DJ, did I take you down and show you too?
Certainly did.
Should you try to encumber some of this year's budget to at least purchase some of the culverts? And how come we can't get any local contractors to do any work for us? What has happened? How come, no, I don't want to do anything for the town. Why is that? That's something that
Because,
A couple of them got ran off by prior town administrators.
well, one of the things is,
Bridges.
Yep.
again, if something's over a certain dollar value,
Yep,
we have to competitively bid it out.
yep.
So, sometimes the local contractors feel like they don't have to bid, they should just get the work.
Okay?
And as a taxpayer,
They're all taxpayers too.
but as a taxpayer, I think I have to look to get best value for the whole town.
Okay. I tried to do that with winter sand. I reached out to David Dacco, a local contractor who puts his trucks on plowing for the town, to see, you know, if he'd put in a bid. He did. He apparently wasn't the low bidder.
What was the difference?
But I tried to get do business locally, is what I'm asking about.
When that came through, I did explain that Pete had suggested that he wanted to do a local vendor, and it had been discussed that the low bid, who had done, delivered the product and done
It's
it in the
not,
past.
it's not automatically the lowest bid, but it has to be reasonable.
Generally, if it's the lowest bid and they're our path, we've used them the last prior year, we've had no incidents.
And it's
Generally, we'll
not-
go with them.
we'll go
That's
Okay.
what that was, Pete.
I guess my concern is that with so much culvert work that needs to be done before we pave this Ridge Road, Sherburne Hill, Tasker Hill area, with so much culvert work that needs to be done, the contracted services line is going to have to go up quite a bit. The town backhoe can't do all this stuff. These culverts are deep. You'd have the road to Altor trying to put in a culvert up on some of these places on Ridge Road. Walk the road or ride your bike, Scott,
But
sometime. They're
no,
all listed.
what we do is okay,
Okay.
Contracted services it's a zero,
All in the one.
huh?
I thought we were taking all the contracted services out of one line now.
Well, there's a $787 payment out of a zero budgeted amount, which I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
talk
the
to
other one's
Sandy about.
39,000, Tammy.
There's no bridge, which line? I'm looking at contracted services, 43111-330. I'm not seeing another contracted service under your budget. Oh, I see, you had two of them. I see, Pete. You had
Downing.
one up above that's zero, and then you have one which is 390, and the adopted budget was 1,500.
The one that's 39,000 is the one that we typically
go ahead,
draw
Chairman.
that type of work out of.
39,000.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, Pete,
Go ahead.
we appreciate all the info.
All right. What about the ledge on Ridge Road that needs to be either jackhammered out or something? The gentleman that owns the hardware store that lives on Ridge Road, the under drain that was put in 20 years ago, the frost has got underneath it in front of Mr. Detrude's. I don't know whether to go in the hardware store looking like this. I mean, he's very upset that this makes his driveway rough when he gets up into it after frost sets in the wintertime. That's something else that's going to need to be repaired on Ridge Road. And if you have any money left, after we do the box culvert in the spring,
Well, the box culvert, you're talking about.
Bull Lake Road.
Yeah, that's all gonna be,
Yep.
whatever that costs, that's what's gonna get paid. There's not gonna be money left over from that.
Okay.
Cause you would get, okay.
What about doing the top coat on Bull Lake Road? When do we start top coating any of the roads that we put the base coat on? Is my question.
We started buying it was recommended to us to purchase a different coat that was,
We're putting on a winter binder.
Winter
a
binder, yeah.
and then we weren't gonna do the top coat.
We didn't need top coat within a couple of years. They said we could do it within a couple of years.
Right, I think it was 3 years.
All right, that's why I'm asking all these questions. Because I
We're on
don't
it,
know.
we're trying.
I guess you guys
We're just as behind as
don't
you
either.
are.
What's that?
We're just as behind as you are with all this stuff.
Okay, so what you're asking out of me now is to get a hold of Bob Kaufman to fill out a job application and start taking the calls in regards
For
to
now,
this.
until we
for now.
decide on which
And
way
when
to
you're
go.
gonna have a guy come in about the road agent's
We're
position?
gonna talk about it probably tonight in non-public, and then whether or not we wanna have a meet, and if we decide to have a meet, we'll make sure to have you involved in it, because you wanna be
Okay.
involved.
And-
And
and
what
we're
else?
I'd
okay
like
with
to
having
do
the
that
septic
next
pumps, yeah.
Monday,
I'll take care of it.
if we can, so that you can get someone in there sooner than later.
So somebody can take the calls for you.
Well, there's a lot more to being the road agent than
Well,
taking a few phone calls.
Between
I
now and
guarantee
Monday, why
Okay,
don't you
thank
make
you.
out an expectations of what you would want from your road agent?
Go ahead.
We are putting a warrant article, and I know you've only been here for 3 years. We put out warrant articles to have a public works director,
you. Yep,
so that we could actually hire somebody
Yep.
that we thought was properly qualified to do the job. The town has voted it down every time we bring it up.
yep, I understand that.
So.
Your hands are tied too.
so
I realize that. I
some
mean, I
of
can't
the
even get
stuff
names
isn't
for the
because we
printer
don't
for
wanna
crying out
do it.
loud. Thank you.
We're not giving the money.
Thank you.
Are you done with me for
Wait, so-
tonight?
We are.
Yeah.
Contact Lance for the septic.
I will, and would you make sure that the board sends Lance Benson at MD Tasker a thank you note
Yes.
for doing the,
Ball field, we will. We can
for
take
helping
care
us
of
out at the
Oh,
ball
it does the
field?
lagoons.
No,
took care of the
no,
ball
I
field, too.
had emailed Sharon
Thank you.
that day.
Thank
if
you
the
very
rec
much.
department could do a thank you note.
Winnie, we're sorry.
Is the rec department doing that, or is the
It's been
commission?
a long night.
Well, it's only coming from the rec department.
I realize how busy you
You
are.
spend a day
Oh,
with him
it's
lasering
not,
and
it's
everything.
just, we got so much going on.
Oh, God. Did you get a letter from the Conservation Commission?
I probably
There's
did.
3 there,
So do you mind taking care of that thank you note?
and
sure
I'm
it
just
wasn't
gonna
done.
point out some things. This
I'll
is
be
about
back
the
to try and
trails,
do
so.
my best. I'm trying to keep up. I really am. I can't take on
The
Parks and
commission, I
Rec.
guess.
What's wrong with
I'm
Parks and
trying. I'm trying.
Okay, so we finished the trails on the Gupta Ramping pasture. I'm just gonna point out, just a refresher as to where they are. You've got the park over here, you've got your athletic fields here, Route 4 is here, Co-Brown's Mead Lot is here, and so this is on the Gupta Lamprey pasture. And so we've had an opening, you know, people have been out there for a couple of months and so on. And one of the concerns we have is that we don't, I don't know if you can impose, there's 2 issues, dogs, and dogs are on leash, it's required in the park. So we would like some way of imposing a leash law for dogs on those trails. I don't know if it just goes into the papers per order of the selectmen,
You
but I
have to
know
have
this.
public hearing,
Release law.
You what?
and we'd have to have public hearings and open it up to the public, and
Well, there is a leash law for the meadows because it's under the state.
it's under the
Yes,
state.
and there's a
But
leash law
isn't there
for the
like
athletic
a-
fields too.
Yeah, but
I
there's
know.
Isn't
no,
there like
there's no town
a
leash
gray
law.
area where they don't technically have to be under leash as long as they're under control?
Correct. Am I allowed to answer that? Yes, as state
that's
of
what-
Hampshire, it's under reasonable control.
Yeah.
Right,
That's what Northwood follows right now.
Go ahead, Winnie.
okay. So there's that issue, and it would be nice to be able to have it the same for the trails.
Can we can't just
And-
put up signs? We have to have all that public hearing and stuff?
Well, first off, you want it, would you want to do it on at the ball fields?
No, I mean, okay, I mean, just kind of point out, as we talked about in the spring, the 2 access, we didn't want to have an access in the athletic
Is it in the
fields.
meadows?
Yes, it's 2 places in the meadows. There is a
Yeah,
trail
so
across
do we,
Cobra.
here's my question, do we have to get permission from the state to post stuff out there?
Not once it's on our property.
There is a
No,
leash
it's
law
on-
at the meadows.
Yeah, so, no, oh, is this on town property?
This is on town property,
So-
so the
But
Gupta
the
Land
trail comes
pasture-
off of the meadows.
Right, it's off of the meadows.
So,
This
we
is-
trail
can
actually-
post, if it's town property, we
That's
can
what
put a
I'm saying.
sign up.
Right after, we have to go on the town line. So in other words, where the trail derives in the state park,
Yeah.
maybe it's,
We put the sign would have to be on the town.
say it's 500
Right.
feet before it gets to town
I
property,
mean,
we'd
the
have to
state
put our
requires
sign
that of
there.
me too, any kind of signage.
Has to be on town property. You
Right.
can't put
I don't see
town-
why we can't do
Yeah.
that. We can do that.
Okay. And one of the accesses, these are, well, we'll put them on the town property, and I've been talking to Co-Brown, because the 2, this is Co-Brown's lot, that lot between the 2, and the trails go from the park over to here. And they, you know, they're good with the leash law too, because makes it easier for their runners and.
So you'll
you know,
get the signs for that?
What's that?
You'll get the signs?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
The other issue is horses. There is a logging road. We talked about this last spring when I came in, and there was a concern from the Board of Selectmen that these trails, even though there's no trailhead at the athletic fields, these trails could allow horses to come across and get on the athletic fields. That's one reason to prohibit horses, at least for now. The second one is that this center trail, we call it the Gupta Road, it's the old logging road, and all the other trails come off of that. And it has old corduroy crossings for loggers. These are just, you know, logs put down in the road to allow vehicles to go across. Fine for walking. The concern is that it's possible, you know, that horses' hooves could slide down in them, and it makes bad footing for horses. For us to get, you know, we don't have the money to go and put culverts and gravel and all of that. It's fine for walking trails. It's just not really good. It's not a good chance to take, let me put it that way, for horses. There's sensitive areas I went to the Recreation Committee because a little bit of the trail goes on the very southern tip of the athletic field, and we got permission for that. And in there's a crossing of a stream, and we got a permit, and we submitted that and put stepping stones in the stream to make, it's like, well, normal times it would be dry now, but of course it's not. So
The beavers.
no beavers yet. Shh, no beavers. Oh, please no. So the stepping stones take care of that problem. The horses have to go through the stream. And the other thing is we've certainly done a lot of cutting out there, widen the trails. In some places they're narrow, they're normal trails. And so, they're not really like high enough for horses. In some places they're kind of narrow for riders. In many cases they're fine.
So are you saying you want to ban horses from the trails?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm okay with that one too, on our trails,
Yeah.
for now. So in other words, they'll still be able to go in the park. In other words, they won't be able to go on these side small trails and get onto the fields. So they'll be confined to the state park.
Right, because that would be a major reason to justify that in the fields. Also in the park, they pretty much stay on those, really nice roads. The park is full of roads. Sometimes they come down and make a loop through what is called the White Trail, which is a level trail that they kind of
Stone
weave.
dust, usually, isn't that
So the horses can use the park.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, isn't that
You
the
just don't want them
handicap?
going on the ball.
The hiking trails.
Well, no, and the hiking trails, they've already been some out there. They kind of, they dig in. Of course, it's wet right now, so it's kind of unusual circumstances, but it
like
does
horses.
dig on. Well, I love horses. My granddaughter's an equestrian, and we have nothing against, but I'd like to avoid problems, especially if it's, a problem where a horse foot could slide down.
Yeah, my daughter's real big in the equestrian stuff, so.
Oh, yeah, my
Okay with it.
granddaughter is, yeah.
I'm okay with it. They put in all this effort for these trails. I'm okay with listening to your suggestions. Anything else?
No, that's it. And
Awesome,
so,
we got through this one quick.
yeah, I was
So
hoping
signs for both.
yeah.
Keep your dog on leashes
We
and
need to do something, just
Yeah.
a leash thing,
I
right?
don't think we even need to make a motion for that, do we?
both town properties. We probably
Yeah, we
can.
might want to make a motion to
I'll
allow
make a
me
motion
yeah,
to
I will.
allow, the Conservation Commission to post, dogs must be on a leash sign,
And prohibiting horses.
Horses
horses
on trails.
on the walking trails on town property.
Okay.
Is that the proper motion?
I second that.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
We moved on.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Get up.
Still nowhere near
Scott,
to
they're
being
much
on-
easier to walk than when you went out there last spring, I think it was.
Nowhere near to being-
Yeah, they were pretty rough then.
I think some people are surprised I want to walk the trails.
Can I take back the laminated?
No, I wanted to keep that, that's
What
pretty
time
nice.
is the, what time is it?
Oh,
In case we got lost.
Because I can't reach that.
Scott, here's your budget.
This Thursday?
6 o'clock.
This Thursday?
DJ, can you scoot that? She can't reach it.
Oh, sorry.
I waive my honesty. You already have one, right? Thank you
All right,
so much.
so
for
now
your
we're gonna
time.
do FY 2019 warrant review session. What it
Okay,
says.
so because of the hour of the day and because if the
We do
board,
this all on Monday?
that's what I'm asking you
Okay,
guys.
yes, let's
because
have a meeting on
we
Monday.
have a lot of non-public
Early as-
ahead of us
early
and
as
all this
possible.
other stuff, so.
Early as possible.
Can
What can
we-
you do Monday, just Scott?
Yeah, early as possible.
Because we can,
All right, listen.
some of this stuff that we don't need
5
to
o'clock.
take. 5 o'clock? Can you do 5?
I can do that.
Can we, is there some of
You
this stuff?
thinking like earlier?
I can be here for 3.
I can be
Oh,
here.
yeah, here's the one.
I can do that.
I'll let you know, I'm taking a vacation day Friday to interview the companies for the safety bill. So I'm actually taking one of my vacation days.
I took a vacation day to do
Yeah.
voting, so.
And I took a vacation day for
I just-
voting.
So what time
So
can we
like,
do this?
I can be here at 5.
And let's put
So
anything,
don't bust my chops about 3 o'clock.
let's put anything that we don't
My one
have to
perk
do
of working
tonight.
in town.
Right,
Because we're
so,
behind
Yes.
on that too.
yep, so
along
we're
with
gonna
budget
do the
review.
job description, work session, plus the wage study.
Yes.
I'll be tendering my resignation.
We won't accept it.
Okay, because I think
We have
that
a lot,
getting
all right.
into the warrant and everything else, we're gonna be here till midnight.
Okay, yeah. So what do we want, what do you want to do? Let's get through the rest of what we got to get through right now.
We got to prove these purchase orders.
Well, why don't we, the minutes that were given to you guys today from the municipal
I'm gonna be here a
secretary,
while.
Can I
You don't
make
have to-
a,
You don't have to hang out.
could you guys wait and do this at the next meeting? That-
well, what I was gonna
He
say,
wants to be a part of it,
Okay, so you wanna wait
so
for
it'll probably be, if we do it.
I would like to
Monday.
make a suggestion
So there's no sense of you hanging
that
out.
that? No problem, I'd rather tangle with him too.
the
Guys, have a good
what's
night.
your
Thank you.
little club down there?
No, I'm not part of it. Gulf Road, isn't it?
Yeah, with the.
Oh, can we take a quick break? She's gonna use the bathroom, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right, blame it on me.
No, go ahead. Go real- We're gonna take a real quick 5-minute
I'm
recess.
super
You don't even
quick.
have to shut the camera.
Okay, so the Board of Selectmen's minutes, you were just given those this evening. So, would the board like to hold off and review them? and-
Well, I was gonna suggest one thing. There was a public hearing
You have that one.
for the Cove Village District, which I
That one came
believe,
as an
to
email.
the best of my understanding, was not part of the Selectmen's meeting.
That's
I
correct.
was not here.
No,
I can't-
what I'm telling you is, I think that this should be sent to the management of the Cove Village District to approve their minutes.
Didn't Shane ask for?
Well, there was a
The
request
first
via
one.
email from somebody asking for some minutes of the meeting. And that's when I came last meeting and asked you guys about whether you had a public hearing or what went
We
on.
did have a public hearing. The first one, we had a public hearing, we had it here because they hadn't established their president or who was gonna do their minutes or anything else.
Was that September 25th?
Yes, that was the meeting that they decided to actually form the district. We had the public hearing here.
We had the public hearing, but we didn't run it.
No,
No, we
It
just
was run by
sat,
the
we just sat
moderator.
here.
Run by
Oh,
the
but
moderator.
it says right here, she's calling it the Cove Village District.
it's the golf.
Is that what came through to you guys, was the Cove?
No, and it wasn't the golf either.
They
It was,
changed it.
They named
Something.
it something.
It was, that's why I'm saying, I can't even,
I wasn't here. I don't
It
know.
wasn't
I have
Cove.
what's your neighbor,
Golf
what's your
Village
street
District.
called?
Yeah, it was,
Golf Road,
Golf
Your
Road Village
road, there's
District.
some other road.
Old Woods Road,
No, it was Golf Road District
Peoria
or something
Road.
like that.
There's a bunch of them out there.
No,
No, it
Golf
wasn't-
Road something.
it wasn't, I
Lynn
don't think it was
Grove
Gulf
Road.
Road, it was one of the roads that, because Gulf Road's not included. in
Lynn
it.
Grove Road,
No, it wasn't.
because that's where it goes
No,
off to
it
Lynn
was
Grove.
Grove, it wasn't
Not
Cove, it
Cove.
was Grove.
Lynn Grove.
But it was, I think they said Grove District, or
Golf District or something like that. That's-
or maybe it was the Gulf and Lynn Grove District.
Well, anyways, they should do that.
But I think that,
Well, the thing that
Ask them what the
confused
name
me is that it says Chairman Hodgson stated that the first order of business, so you're running that meeting.
yeah, but no, okay. It was on our, okay, so if you got our agenda,
Yep,
the very first thing on the agenda,
yep.
and we started, it started, wasn't it 5:30 that day?
Did. No, it started at
It said
6.
6.
It started at 6, but our meeting didn't start till
6:30.
6:30 because the first half hour was to have that meeting. And the moderator, the assistant or deputy moderator,
Took
whatever,
over.
He ran the meeting.
Because our meeting was after this meeting.
Now, the selectmen sitting in the meeting made some comments, but did not run the meeting because somebody asked somebody, "How does this work?" And some of us gave our opinions.
It's right here. They voted on the name, it was
Golf Village District. Golf Village
Gulf
District.
Village District.
So,
So
I
that
don't know how
needs-
you got the code. Oh, they talked about.
They wanted that, the way that Trinity explained to me in listening to it is that they wanted Cove Village District, but because there's something close to that already in town,
Yep.
that they felt that that wouldn't be acceptable and went to a different name.
I agree with Scott, these need to go to them to okay. We can, because
Well, if it's not the responsibility of the select board, you don't want your staff doing
That's what I'm
that.
saying. I don't.
Right.
So these don't exist or will not be used if it's their responsibility to do their own
even though
minutes.
that night they didn't have a,
They weren't,
Well,
but they weren't responsible for
Can I?
themselves.
Can I?
they weren't technically responsible for
well,
themselves that
no,
meeting.
let me premise this. The moderator run the meeting,
Okay,
Because it was their first one.
because it
right?
was their first meeting.
They weren't actually a district yet.
So, well, you may not, your recommendation may not coincide with what I might suggest.
okay.
Just for this meeting.
Just for this meeting, I'm okay with, just let them know, we did these minutes for you.
For
but
just this
it's
meeting.
your
I'm gonna
responsibility.
ask because you guys are giving these out. Do you want to review these? Because once you give them and they come from this town hall, you're responsible for them.
I think they need to review them and then we can okay
See
it.
what I'm saying? You're putting yourself in a place where you may
So
not want to
so
go.
then when do we turn around and say we can't take, you should have took them, so what do you go?
I can tell them that, you know, take this off of here, create notes. These were notes of the meeting, that if they'd like to use these notes to create their own minutes, that they are welcome to do that.
Okay.
So,
But I wouldn't
like, take
send this
this
to
part
them as,
out?
yeah, I wouldn't send this to them as a formatted minutes.
Should we stamp this draft unapproved?
I think it's, we're gonna.
Oh, I think if you put draft on here,
I think that if you take this off and you just
This
call
whole
it.
part, this-
Yeah, the whole thing about minutes, you're gonna
notes,
take it off.
just take,
No.
say,
No.
notes, what?
All right, that's fine.
Okay?
I agree.
But
That's what I just
but
said.
if we don't give it to them?
No, I'm not saying don't hold
minutes.
back information.
I agree.
I'm saying do not put this out there as though this was a
What you're
set of
saying
minutes
is,
from
I'm
you.
joking around, what you're saying is go,
Just send, I'm gonna
no,
have
what you're
this paper,
saying is, here, give them this.
say, here's some notes that you
Yes,
can
yeah,
draft
okay.
your own minutes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay? That's
All right.
everybody okay with
Yeah,
that?
let's go.
Shred this document.
Move on. All right, what's next?
Okay, so the October 16th and 25th.
We'll put those off till
23rd.
Monday?
Yes.
Take
So you
care
guys
of it.
have a chance to review them at home?
Take care of
Fine.
Okay.
processing various assessing forms and applications. Let's do it. Get through them.
Okay, just so you guys know, there's a lot of stuff going through this building, okay? Oath of office that has been requested by the library to appoint Irene Kreider as the library trustee as an alternate for the term of 5 months and expires March 31st, 2019.
I'll make a motion to authorize, Jesus.
How about I premise
Irene
it in
Kreider.
such a way that I say, I need a motion
I'll-
this way, and then you just say, I move that motion.
So move.
So that we don't say it
Yes,
all the way
perfect.
around the building,
All
I
right.
mean the room.
I'll move what Tammy just said.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Zero.
That's what I'm used to my board doing.
So
I
moved.
throw it out, they motion, my motion.
Get it done half the
What we
time
do
that
with
way.
the state.
Okay, so I have changed your deed. It used to be called a quitclaim deed. The new way of doing it through Mitchell Group is called deed with no covenants. You guys signed these back on October 2nd. They were sent to the registry. They were sent back because they were citing that they were tax exempt when they are not. So I need for you guys to re-sign those.
we
So
don't
moved.
have- Second. We don't need, oh, sorry.
Aye.
What do you, it's just the top one, Scott, I think, and then you've got, so this is gonna be for Thomas Chan, and that one is for, I'm not sure the top name on there, can you just? What's the name on that one?
That one is, Carol
Nahikian.
Nahikian.
Nahikian. Now, not all of these are motions. These were submitted from Sharon DeLuca for the Northwood Recreation Department, and they are requests for approval of the town treasurer to withdraw money. And I'm going to go right down. Do you guys motion or do you sign those?
We motion.
Okay. So I need the board to motion to withdraw from the Northwood Rec escrow $225 for Sophie Lard for referee services for the youth soccer program.
Two spots. So moved.
Also, $100 from the same program for the referee services for youth for Carl Peter.
So moved.
So moved. Well, wait, do
$125.
we, hold on, just to get this right,
We do them all at once.
we just,
Yes,
do you want us to move these, or do you want to read them all and just say so moved?
correct.
I'm sorry, I just had to clarify that.
Yeah. Burke Bulger, $125 for referee services, same account, same program. Ryan Hanovan, $125, same program, same referee services. Amelia Brackett, $275, same information. Mike Brigger, $125, same information. Also, $87 to the SVSC to pay for the soccer tournament for the youth soccer program. So a motion for all of
I'd
these
like
to
to
come
move
out.
for all these to come out of the recreation revolving account.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I actually just have a question. Were these reviewed by finance before they came to us?
Were they reviewed?
Like, I'm like, in the past, we've actually looked at some of these to see if they were reasonable.
I think those are referees.
Those are
for the
referees,
games.
yeah.
These referees.
Yeah,
I'm
referee,
just
all of
asking, it's a,
I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah, all of them are the referees.
Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, so we have a letter here from Dave Elaine, who's doing the septic facility renewal modification permit application. And he has completed the application this year, as he's done in the past for the board. And he has a signature page here for you, and then he would like to pick this up tomorrow, because it is due tomorrow.
so moved? So moved?
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I got the DJ scribble then.
Huh?
Yeah, the DJ scribble.
The DJ scribble?
Is this all, oh, this
Bump
is
elbows with him because he's a lefty.
I
Southpaw.
have a warrant that the Board of Selectmen needs to motion to approve the second property tax levy for the year, which is going to the town clerk tax collector in the amount of $6,162,872.80. For information for the record, the tax rate was established by the Board of Selectmen for $25.68 per thousand, with the use of $250,000 surplus or undesignated fund balance, and a $5,000 overlay was in place.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote, all in favor?
We got a correction on this one. This is not, I think this is just signed by the chair.
What does it say
Can we
on
finish
the
this
front?
motion real quick though?
Yeah.
Call for the vote,
Aye.
aye, motion passes 3-0, now we can go back to that one.
Yeah.
This doesn't
Where'd the
require,
cover letter go? What does he have on his cover letter?
just says, signature request, your copy reference attached. There's only room for one signature, that's all.
Well, then it's a motion for the.
So I'd like to amend my motion to allow the chair to execute this on behalf of the selectmen.
Second.
Any discussion, call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
So we need to sign, oh, we've already done that one, so we can sign that one too. Where's the signature for it?
Okay.
It's on, right there. Who's the co-applicant? Well, that must be, I guess we just sign one side.
1113. Oh, yeah. I need to open a bar in the house.
Okay, so moving into other items that have come forward, there's a request for a chief's promotional oral board. The quote from the Fire Academy to do this for the town of Northwood is $1,250. This quote includes the development, construction, coordination, and administrative fees for up to 6 candidates for the fire chief position.
So moved.
Second.
Just
Question?
question, after this, are they gonna post this ASAP so we can get moving on this?
Yes, I
Okay.
need to get this to them,
All right.
unfortunately, Friday.
By this
I'm
Friday?
not coming in tomorrow, I can't,
No, it's
guys.
fine, but it's
I
gonna be.
work Saturday
That's
till
fine.
7
No,
o'clock.
that's fine.
No.
Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm okay with waiting till Friday, I just wanna get it going Friday.
Not.
I just wanna get it going Friday, I'm okay with waiting till Friday, I just
Okay.
wanna get it going.
There is no contract to be signed, but there's just a motion that needs to be on record, so you're good.
Good.
So I will do this Friday, and we
gonna
were
s-
talking about the dates of November, what did we say, Scott? November 19th to the 30th?
That's-
It would be posted again.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Oh, put it out for 2 weeks.
That's fine.
Yes.
Are we gonna send up the current applicants we've already seen to them? We're gonna
Yes,
send
we
them their
are.
resumes already?
Yes.
Okay. No, that works for me. 2
Yeah,
weeks is
fine.
fine.
And if you'd like, I can try next week to give the applicants a call to let them know that you've put it back out, but their applications will be going forward.
Okay, yeah,
That'd be
I'm okay
great,
with that.
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that takes care of that process.
We'll hopefully get somebody by Christmas for that too.
Yeah.
What's this one? Northwood Board, once again. Did you guys ever approve that the Lions Camp Pride in conjunction with Northwood Lake Ice Racing?
Yes.
Yes,
You did?
Yes.
Okay, so a letter just needs to be drafted.
we don't,
We already
do we
did
have to
that
sign
2
it?
weeks ago.
No, you
We
can
okayed
approve
it,
me,
yeah, we approved it.
That was like.
and I'm okay
That
to
was a
sign it
couple
on
weeks
behalf
ago.
of the
Yeah.
board? Okay.
Yeah.
Agenda meeting minutes. Everything's okay. Pete's on the upcoming agenda. And I think we're all set with that type of information.
So dumbfounded when it comes in. It's crazy.
Just to let you know, I've reviewed the job descriptions that I've received on your wage study program. I've looked at the support staff. I've sent out all of the job descriptions to all of the department heads asking for their feedback. That's all going to be brought back in here, and then Monday night we will be reviewing for finalization of the job descriptions. Agenda items are all done. This is the fire chief's information, and the rest, you guys have a vendor run
And we have a bunch of POs.
and POs.
Are all those need to be taken care of tonight? Might as well.
I think we should.
All right, let's do it then.
I think so. Those
do it.
we
Let's
probably
bang
need
right
to
through 'em.
move.
All right, this employee status change, oh, is that for, you need to sign this for, is this for,
His resignation.
who's this for?
Adam.
Oh, Adam. Oh, is that to hire him back?
No. I think this is to accept his resignation, isn't it?
So should we hold off on that then, or no? I don't want her to start doing paperwork and then say,
We're gonna turn around and rehire. Hold off on that for now.
No, I'm sorry, I asked the same question.
okay.
Because Form A has already been processed,
I have to sign
Form B has to be
Okay,
processed, and then the whole rehiring would have to occur.
Okay.
So
I didn't want to make more work.
So we think alike. I said the same
Okay.
thing to Sandy. I was like, do we have to do this?
Oh, all right, so, is this the Veris Enterprises? Den Veris Enterprises, plowing and sanding for F-350 Ford plow and sander. This is a purchase order for $4,000.
Blanket purchase
Which
order.
department is that from?
Highway.
Highway.
Blanket purchase order.
Highway purchase order. I'm just trying to clarify
I'm
for the
sorry.
record.
For the record, this is for the highway department.
$4,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
I'm waiting for the folder.
Oh, I'm like, I see this with the sticker. I didn't know if that
No,
was.
you
signed.
just signed it.
Okay.
So the next purchase order
The
is
next
for-
purchasing hour is for Eric Reeves, DBA, Reeves Trucking
Which
Excavation.
department?
I would imagine it's
Highway
plowing,
again.
salting, it's highway. He's got a 1-ton Chevy, $4,000 blanket PO from November to December of 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
Sorry.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
So that was, I'm just trying to keep total.
Highway,
First one was how much?
4,000, 4,000. They're all, oh, you're gonna make sure we don't overspend?
Yeah, maybe.
The Aldonko and Son.
How much do we have on that plowing line? Because I'm pretty sure Pete, do you think Pete looked at his budget?
I don't know.
I don't think he realizes that your expectations for him to oversee that budget is his responsibility. I don't know what was discussed, but he's asked me like, whose responsibility is it to fill these types of forms out? Whose responsibility? So he's looking at these items as being the road agent's responsibility, and so.
He's the department head.
Well, technically, the road agent is the
Technically,
department
he's
head.
not.
So that goes back to.
I think this is a non-public discussion.
No, I just think it's just a miscommunication.
All right, so anyways, all right, so just wait, before we go blasting through these are all like,
I think Sandy took that budget.
these
down.
are all like $4,000 for every single,
I have my, you want this?
No, it's the expenditure report.
so we've approved 2. So before we start doing all these blanket POs,
But does he need all this though for, I mean, there's a storm coming Thursday night, Friday.
but we can't
Well, yeah,
overspend, we can't overspend our budget.
Oh, I know,
Just
but
tell me, keep going, you got
I
4,
got 4, 9,
9,000?
well, this is for Darko's
Because
9,000,
he's got 2 people.
because he's got 2 people.
And I'm assuming, If
That
he
would-
put these purchase orders in, then they already showed up tonight, and so Sandy would have, when I asked her, she said everything was to year to date, so I think you're clear.
These have been here for a week.
So
Yeah.
Sandy would have
So
already.
this
had-
is 6,000 for winter sand. Okay, that's police, that's different. East Coast compactor.
That would be transfer, highway.
Those are just highway, the first three.
Oh, no, there's a Temperance Hill road sign.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal.
He did that sign already, he said.
That's not a huge deal.
Right,
No, it's my street, I need a road sign.
It's minor money.
15.
Why, you need to find it when you're coming home one-eyed from Johnson's?
Why, that's cold, man. All right, so here's that. Did we do Eric Reeves? We did that one, right? $4,000 plowing and salting. So moved. I think we already did that one, though.
Second.
All in favor, aye, motion
Aye.
passes 3-0.
I got DL Dock on Sun, $9,000 moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
I got
passes 3-0.
Fillmore Industries Highway Department,
He didn't
winter
sign
sand, $6,000.
it. He didn't sign it.
So moved. Call for vote, all in favor, aye. You didn't sign this one there, speak it, there. Speak
Okay.
up. Thinking about your sign.
Speaker signing.
Huh?
Speaker needs to sign.
Thinking about his street sign. He's all
Sign, you
excited
gotta-
about it.
Oh, I have a, equipment and outfit new 2018 Cruiser, $10,834. So moved.
Second.
I kind of knew this was coming because now this is the equipment that's going on the cruiser we bought.
Correct. Now, I'm not against approving this,
Okay.
but I will say that when he came to us, did say that he was gonna take the equipment off the old one, because we specifically asked him if that was the final price. I remember you asked him, because you threw
And
a
he,
fit.
and he did say that he
Yes.
was coming in with this equipment.
No, not at that time he
He
didn't.
said that some equipment
Some
was
equipment
so
was
old,
good.
it was obsolete, and you couldn't.
I'm not against, like I
repair
said,
it.
I'm not
Yeah, but
against
what I'm
signing
saying
it.
is,
I'm not.
I'm not arguing with him, I'm just saying, I knew this was coming when he,
I understand.
yeah, okay. I'm just saying that.
I understand.
Second.
Okay.
Any
Do
more
you want to
discussion?
talk? Do you want to talk?
No,
about
I think it's, obviously it's gotta be done, there's nothing we can do about it.
it? Okay.
But,
Police cars need lights,
but
or no one's
it
not.
goes back to the having everything at once thing that we've been talking about all along. I'm not, again, I support this, I'm not saying it's not, but we've said it before, at some point, I'm not saying this is the point, but if we continue to allow this to happen, it's gonna keep happening.
There is a memo that went out. I sent a memo to finance, who sent another procurement policy out to all the departments, saying that that will be followed, or her department has not been given permission to expend or accept
That's
POs.
all I'm saying, I'll call for the
We're
vote.
continuing to put it out there. The board just has to enforce it.
Right, well, now the problem is this is it, is it's not, this is a different
All right.
case, I'm not saying this case, but it seems like every case that it is, it's like, we almost can't say no, because if we do, then we're handcuffed. Because like, we can't really say no to this.
You have to start saying no somewhere, or it's never gonna
I
stop.
know, we honestly, I don't see
Now
how
may
we
not be
can
the
say.
time.
That was-
I don't see how we can
that
say no.
Yeah, right now might
Now
not be
may
the
not be
time.
the time,
All right.
but you do need
But
to,
keep it in the back of our
you
head.
need to get there.
When we get the new administrator in.
I'll call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got
Again,
a,
I support it, but.
Right.
East
I understand,
Coast-
I understand, yeah.
East Coast compactor, a service call, replaced hydraulic hose on, solid waste, Ram.
This can come out of the
Second.
transfer station expendable trust fund, so it doesn't have to come out of the budget, because it's a repair.
Yeah,
Did they code it that
I
way?
don't think so.
Who is this?
This came
Joe
in,
Wheeler.
Joe Wheeler, but he's taking it out of, what's 43,211? He took it out of the
So
budget.
if I were the selectman, if you could write to Sandy on there that this comes out of, and whatever it is that you're
Transfer station
recommending.
expendable trust fund.
Take out of transfer station.
And maybe that's just something that she can relay to him, that anything that's maintenance we can take out of that fund.
Yep.
She might
No,
not
yeah,
know.
he sure he doesn't know.
So, okay, and I want to make my motion to take it out of the transfer station expendable trust fund.
Second.
Just a quick point of reference, we've taken quite a bit of money out of that fund this year. If Sandy can just give us a balance of that, after whatever we put in this year, because we're putting in money this year at warrant article time, so we know how much we have.
So
in
you're
it.
talking about next year, you want 19's number?
Yeah, because we'll know how much we're putting in it,
Okay,
and it's never failed before, so I don't see why it would fail this year.
Bill, I want.
So we know how much we have to spend next year, because we've spent quite a bit of money out of that this year.
So for the lagoon test pit, don't we pay for that stuff out of the lagoon fund?
Container, the new gate.
yes. Is there nothing?
Yeah, how come they didn't put, they got this,
How much do we have now?
well, does the lagoon fund have an expense
20
account?
in every year, right around there.
Like, is that 100, 20,
Yeah,
that's it, right?
right, because all your other accounts are fours, right? Your,
Yeah,
okay,
Four,
so a
okay.
2 is a different account.
okay.
So you're sure that the one you just sent through before?
Can I see,
did
well, I
not-
wrote right out to take out the I hand wrote that.
But it did have a 2 on it, or did it have a 4 account?
4, 8,
That's the general fund.
4, 3, 8.
That
This one is-
This is a 2, this is not the general fund.
Okay, so,
Okay then.
yeah, no,
That's
that's,
not
no, I
okay,
wrote,
this-
no, I wrote in there,
You wrote
take
this,
out,
right.
okay,
Right, that's what we wanted.
So that's okay.
Oh,
This
one's
is a
okay.
new one he's questioning, Beth.
Okay.
all right.
And this one has a 2 account. A 2 account is a different fund, the 4 is the general fund.
So, I'll
This should
take,
come out of the lagoon fund.
yeah,
Which
but,
is-
so, this, I make a motion to take out $500 out of the lagoon, expendable, I think it was expendable trust fund, for the test pit area site,
Second?
$500.
So that is something that's up anyways here, on the warrant article, you're talking about that lagoon maintenance and repair expendable trust fund. You guys need to fill the dollars in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The same with the recycling one, that'll be up, that'll be one too that we have to fill the dollar amount every year too. That'll be one, we'll put them all into one article.
I have
Call for
a,
vote, hold on. Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye. All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve a sign for Temperance Hill Drive road sign, 24-inch, yeah, this is the highway, for $193.69.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Seeing none, call for vote?
Aye.
Scott will now know where he lives.
I have to abstain from this because this is my street.
Yeah, but it doesn't really benefit you personally.
No, I don't want nobody to know where I live. That's, I vote no.
No.
Somebody wants to get rid of their excess trash, Temperance Hill?
So, American Alarm Company, backup alarm battery,
Box filled.
yeah, who's this? Oh, this is for,
Highway.
highway. So moved,
We didn't say the amount.
$40.45.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just point, I like Tammy's idea of next time we freeze the budget, making a dollar amount that don't have to come to us,
Because you shut us all down
this is crazy.
completely.
It was all
We need to get some ink.
it was all DJ's fault.
Wasn't the other one I wanted to close the budget to see if we could put the money for the SMP, the fire.
Oh my God.
Had I been here, I would have said, don't freeze it all the way down, because we've done that before, and it's bad.
Fisher Hydraulic Oil, Howard P. Fairfield, Highway Department, $56.
Any discussion? Call for the vote? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pike Industries, Coal Patch, Highway Department, $204.75.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Chappelle Tractor, $90. Winter work,
Six
six
pair.
pair of winter work gloves.
Which
So
department,
moved.
highway?
Highway.
Second.
All right, so I have a question with this one. I'm not against them spending this money, but I know last year we created, you weren't on the board, we gave them $300 a year for items like this.
I know, I remember I spoke up about that.
For items like this. My
It was
question
to
is
buy-
why are they not using that $300? Why are we,
It was for jackets and stuff.
whatever they wanted it for?
Well, how do you know that they haven't used it?
Well, I'm
Throughout
okay.
the year.
Well, if they were, the deal is they got $300, they could
For the
do
year.
it at True Value, or they could bring us receipts. So if they're doing this and they're using that $90, then I need to see that receipt to reimburse them.
Well, what's attached?
Oh, there is a receipt attached.
Yeah.
So I guess we're okay then. So it needs to come out of that line. I didn't actually. So this is
It
for
was
the transfer
each
station.
worker got $300
Yeah, each one we got $300.
And they may have spent it sporadically throughout the year, you don't know that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, I didn't actually see this part of it, but, no, I just wanted to make sure because that's why we did it last year, because they weren't getting nothing. Well, I did it last year,
Did we actually vote on this one?
yeah.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0.
All right, I would like to approve manifest 2018, number 25, in the amount of $3,747.
37,000.
37,340.
$300
It's getting
47 cents. Wow, you're getting old.
Yeah, I am. I'm 56, man.
Second.
Any
Quiet,
discussion?
I'm older than him.
All in favor?
Aye.
How come you don't have the
It's
reading?
that chemical imbalance, he hasn't had his drink tonight.
Because I have monochrome vision, so I see far in one eye and close in the other, which helped me as I got older.
So bionic.
No, it's just, that's what they do now when you get old.
You did.
Oh, would you do one eye?
I
and the
had
other?
surgery, so
Dang,
instead,
didn't you used to wear contact lenses?
and then I had surgery years ago.
I have surgery on one eye.
All right, let's go, let's move on, what's next?
We're done with that. I don't know what you got here, Scott, that's coming back to me.
O'Keefe?
Yeah, so,
You want to do town administrator report?
She don't have a report.
I already did.
All right, selectmen's report individual?
Oh, the old gate in the transfer station, do we still have that?
Yes.
They've been having some vandalism happening at the rec field on Bow Lake Road. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Is there a way to put
Well, what I'm
that
thinking
gate up
is,
there?
Kate, what I'm thinking is that Pete wants to save the gate, the first gate. Now, I don't know if you've paid attention, the second gate's been there for 15 years, the one up on the hill. And when you go up the hill, there's another gate there that's been there forever that we don't use no more.
I didn't-
You wouldn't
I
even
never
notice
noticed
it.
it, I don't think, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
When next time you go in, you know where the trailer is?
Yeah.
When you get up to that top of the hill, there's a gate right there that's never been shut, hasn't been shut in 20 years. We could use that one. Pete wants to save the gate at the bottom, which I agree with because when it snows, he's concerned that the snow will get in front of the reflector and it won't open. The mechanical gate might not open and doesn't have time to plug. So I'm okay with. So we can use that other one.
So they're destroying the field. It's horrible.
Okay.
So Scott said yes, okay.
He wasn't paying attention.
I'm sorry.
My goodness.
I'm okay.
They're vandalizing the fields up at Bow Lake.
Have you seen it? You drive.
Oh, yeah, I knew about some.
So what we want to do is we want to either put a small barn gate up there, or the old transfer station gate, not
Is
the
the
one.
property owner okay with us putting a bar gate up there?
It's ours. Oh no, it's not.
No, it's not our property.
We have to ask the
I
property
know, I'm
owner.
just.
That's
I
how-
was
You have to take that step
asking if.
first.
Johnson's
We have to
property.
take that step first.
We have to ask.
What are we
Oh,
talking
here's the
about?
other thing, we can't spend town money on private property.
Cannot.
No, I was asking
gonna use an old
if
gate,
we
we're not
had, if
spending
the
it.
old gate could be used. That's what all I
But
asked.
who's going to
Install it.
install
We
it?
can't even install it, even though it's on
Well,
town.
You're
if
paying
we ask.
wages.
And we can't even do that.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to expend budgeted funds on private property. So
Well,
why,
that'd
I
be
don't
also
understand,
a-
first
So
of
the
all, why
commission
are
will
you
have to
putting
do
a
it.
fence on someone else's property?
It's
Because,
ours.
she doesn't know, she hasn't been in a
Go
while.
ahead.
Arlene Johnson,
Okay.
she passed away, gave the town permission to use her, all her fields off of, Bull Lake Road.
For athletics.
She basically lets all the towns use it for lacrosse, soccer.
Now somebody's going up there.
Somebody's
doing
going
donuts
up there and doing donuts.
It's all torn up.
But it's not town property? She didn't give it to you? She didn't
No,
donate
she
the
said
property?
that.
She's allowing us
she's
the use of
allowing-
it.
Well, she passed away and her family and trust, or whatever it is still allowing.
Allowing us use, not, she didn't donate us the property, she's
She
allowing us
said
use.
they're allowed to use the
So-
fields for.
We're actually kind of helping her by putting that up, because.
It's being destroyed and
Being
it's
destroyed.
it's also the field.
And is the
We're using
family
helping her
asking you to
family.
do that?
No,
No.
I was just asking the old
Can we?
gate, would we be able to use it?
I
If the rec department got
we would,
permission.
I think we need to,
Get permission first.
get it donated. Like if Rick wants to do the work.
Yeah.
And we need permission from the homeowner to put it up there, but we
Yeah.
can't, she's telling you can't expend town funds on it.
I was just asking if the gate would be possible.
don't
Like,
care.
we gave them the gate.
Yeah, we could.
So that, what the board needs to do is motion to donate the gate
Right.
for this.
I'll make a motion to donate the old gate,
The old upper gate.
the old upper gate to the transfer station that's been replaced by the new electronic gate.
No,
It hasn't been replaced?
no, the old
The
upper
old
gate.
upper gate's been there, it was never replaced, it was just, hasn't been used in years.
So there's two gates back
There's
there.
2 gates.
Yeah,
There's the
but
beginning one, the new one that we just
We
put
don't
in.
need the second one anymore because the
and
new one's
We never
in.
used the second one to begin with, it's been
So-
not used for years.
So,
So that's the one you.
That's the one we wanna donate.
so I make a motion that we donate that to the rec commission
If they get permission.
if they get permission to put it up. But they need to get permission in writing. And all the town cannot expend funds on private property. So somebody would have to donate their time or volunteers need to put it up.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. And you'll see that gate when you go in, you can't miss
I'm
it.
sure, now that I'm aware of it.
Where it's the, you know where the speed limit sign is? On that
Yeah.
big oak tree?
Okay.
Look directly across from it, it's right there.
Okay.
Any more? The only thing I have is,
What about my comments?
you got any?
Yeah,
What do you got?
I'm gonna give them.
Go for it.
Can I go?
You
You
go.
go chin, you go last.
You can go first. I don't wanna hurt your feelings.
Felt a little hurt.
I can see it in your eyes.
So anyways, I would like to give an update on the safety complex.
Yes, please.
So I've been attending all the safety complex meetings.
You mean you haven't had a meeting outside?
What?
No, just go.
Okay, we had a meeting, we've been having, we had a meeting last Wednesday at the Narrows Fire Station. The vendor came in, the company that we hired to do all the work. On Friday, the committee is all meeting at the Narrows to do interviews for the construction project manager. So that's going to be on Friday. There's on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock at the Co-Brown multi-purpose room. We will be doing a first public input and comment session on the building.
I think,
Is my understanding that a flyer went out today in the Sun.
I didn't get this up today.
A flyer went out on the Sun. He asked, it's out on the Northwood Police website. I don't know if it's on the Northwood Police site, Northwood Fire Department site, but I know there was a request if we could put it out on the town website. And
Can Glendon forward that, what he has?
He sent you,
Today. He
sent
gave
you
me
an
this.
email today.
Okay,
So if somebody,
Friday, I'll make sure. I don't see anyone
Well,
until
those
I'm back.
meetings
Friday.
Thursday.
Oh,
Thursday. So if you don't-
Probably
Okay.
have Sandy direct
So
Trinity.
could we
Yeah.
direct Sandy to put that out on the website?
Have
or
Trinity do it. I mean, they seem to have a good rapport. Maybe Trinity.
Does
would-
Trinity
Yeah.
know how to do it?
Call Sandy.
If she ain't got nothing to do, it's a good time to learn.
All right.
I mean, it's not too
Because
hard
the
to do.
meeting's on
Typically
Thursday.
does the website.
I don't know.
And then,
Call Sandy to
I can't,
To start getting-
flyer.
this has to make, I'm in public, but I can't give the location. But we potentially have a plot of land. The police chief approached the owners. There's an informal tentative offer. And this is where it gets a little sticky, not sticky, but they want a deposit of $10,000, which is refundable should the warrant article fail.
So I want to say one thing. I'm not against this, but we need to. We've spent, I'm not saying we can't spend this money, but we've spent now be almost $30,000 out of the budget that wasn't budgeted for. And I support this.
No, I
For the
understand.
safety company.
I
But
understand.
the
And
thing
I
is,
agree
listen, Listen, let me finish.
Okay.
The only reason why we're spending this $30,000 is because that one article was worded wrong, so we can't use the money out of that safety complex fund that is for this.
Right, that was what,
If that
25,
fund was
wasn't it?
available for us to expend the funds out of, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We'd already be able to expend the money.
Because the warrant article is specific to the building of the project.
No, it doesn't give us the right to
Doesn't give us-
spend the
We had
money.
to go to town meeting.
Oh,
to
you're
get-
not named as agents.
Exactly. So
It
we
was
have money to
supposed to.
do this. We have money to do all of this without taking it out of the budget, but we're not allowed to.
We have the money.
We have the
just
money.
can't spend it.
We just can't do it without doing it through the budget.
Named as agents.
Exactly. So we actually technically have the money. So in other words, I don't
Why
want
don't you
to.
change
We
that?
tried, and it failed last
We want
year.
to put a warrant article in, actually.
It failed last
I
year.
wonder if we should take a warrant article this year to get that money to reimburse our general fund.
We could.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get too creative right now, because I'm not even following the warrant article on what you're talking about to begin with, so.
Safety complex warrant article was last year. They tried to change it to make us the expendable, make us the
Agents to
agents to
expend.
expend, and it failed.
It failed.
Oh, it did?
Yes. So in other words, we have money in this
We
safety
have
complex.
money to get built, do the.
But we can't
study.
use
And
it
now
because-
you want to do what? You want to switch it?
No, we want to make it back. We want to put that same warrant article out there.
Again, to get permission to be the agent.
So we can use that money that we're using now out of the budget to do these things. That money, we should be using that money to do what we're
How
doing
much
right
is
now.
in the budget, how much is in that?
I think it would have been enough.
25.
It would have been enough to
25,
cover
right?
all of this mostly.
Well, all of it except for like $2,000.
Yeah. So I mean, we wouldn't even be
We
having this
would have,
conversation.
we had like 20, I think there's 25,000 in there.
So I'd have to see the warrant article, but it sounds like if you're going forward with doing stuff next year,
That needs to be
But
changed.
can't we just spend it on the stuff we're doing next year?
right.
Right, but it needs to be
But
changed.
you have to put it in as a warrant article of what you're going to expend
Yeah,
it
we should
on.
we probably should roll that into the safety complex.
Yeah.
Instead of all this fancy stuff of moving and changing and this and that, you just
We
want
should
to,
just roll it into paying, if it gets approved, 18 to 25,000. We should put some, if this get warrant article, the current $25,000 and
That's in this fund will be used as
be
this.
yours to the first bond payment or something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I
That's
agree.
fine.
I
so
agree.
is there supposed to be something in here this year on the safety complex?
It's supposed to be a warrant article. There's not gonna be a dollar amount yet. I have a tentative dollar amount, but I cannot release that until we get public.
And you had said that that company was going to be forwarding those articles to me for the safety complex. And I
Glenn,
sent it
I
to me.
called Glenn today and asked him to draft a placeholder.
Okay.
The
so
company's
I
gonna
haven't gotten it yet, is what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
You haven't gotten it yet,
All right.
all right?
Okay.
The company, once this guy's hired, they're gonna give us an amount.
Yep.
And we'll be provided language. Okay, I might have like misstated something. They're gonna tell us the amount and how much it's gonna cost and how much we need to bond. We might have to actually draft up the warrant article, but I mean Glenn, between Glenn and myself, we can probably do that.
Could you get, because that's what I was told, it was going to be forwarded to me, and I haven't received anything
I
yet, so I'm still
talked to
waiting.
him today.
Okay, so you're going to have him do that and forward it to me?
Yes.
Okay, Glenn is forwarding. All right.
Okay.
Are you all set?
I was just letting you know that I hope
I'm gonna
everybody
try to
can
be
make the Thursday night meeting.
I'll do that. Wait, are we allowed to all go together?
Yeah, because it's,
Well,
it's,
it's-
it's, a,
Okay, making sure.
it's
We
a,
can't sit next to each other.
So do I need to post, is there a meeting that need to be posted, you guys are all going to be in the same meeting here?
Well, we're gonna, I'll probably be up there with the safety complex people.
We'll be
Okay.
heckling you.
So all 3 or 2 of you are going to be in the same place? I
a
need to post.
majority
it should be posted as a public meeting anyway.
Absolutely, well, that's what I have not
Yeah, so you
received
could
anything.
post it on the
Has it been
website.
posted as a public meeting?
No, that's what I'm asking you, because I didn't know that you were all going. I knew you were going, but I didn't know anyone else was.
Needs to be either way in case we do go.
Well, Sandy's gonna post it anyway.
Sandy's gonna?
That's, we just said you were gonna ask Sandy to post the meeting because it's
town
Thursday night on the
website.
town website, yeah.
The flyer information is what Scott asked me to do, right?
And
So can she post that as well on the
Yeah.
website?
Post an agenda for the board at, where is this?
Co-Brown multipurpose room.
And we're just going as citizens, we're not really going as a board. We're
It
not
doesn't
really-
matter,
We're
if you're
still there,
all
so
in
we
the
have to-
same building, it has to be posted, or the people will call you on it. Multi-purpose room, what's the times?
6 o'clock,
6
Yeah.
to
what does it say?
Which Thursday?
this Thursday, right?
The school board is
This Thursday.
Thursday.
So it's,
It's this Thursday?
You don't have to be there, we're just,
Oh,
we have
I
to,
just-
we have to post it legally.
Whoa, wait a second.
November
Oh, you have a
what?
school board meeting?
We have to post it legally.
Yeah, well, what I was saying is that wouldn't be a bad thing to be filmed.
Well, we're gonna have to, somebody do Facebook
Can we get
Live.
somebody to film it?
Thursday,
somebody do Facebook
November,
Live.
what's today?
It's easy, you just hold the camera like this.
Gigi will do it.
Just hold it like this and that's it, that's all you gotta do.
Then your arm goes down a little bit. Goes up a little
So
bit.
Thursday, November 15th at 6 PM.
Yep.
Okay.
School board's having 2 meetings in a row? 2 Thursdays in a row?
No, last Thursday was planning board Thursday.
Yeah, but then they're meeting Thursday, then they're gonna have Thanksgiving off, then they're meeting Thursday again for the public hearing for
Yeah.
the RSO officer.
Okay, so I've got
So I got
that.
an email, I'm sending Glenn a text, did someone post a meeting at Co-Brown for the safety complex meeting in 3 public places?
Okay.
But the Board of Selectmen has to be the
Yeah, but he
one
needs to
posting
post
it.
his too, though.
Does-
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, he would have to too,
Yeah.
but I'm saying for you three to be in the same place, I'm gonna cover you by posting,
Thank you.
Sandy posted
So
here
any-
too.
Do you have anything else, Scott?
That's it.
All right, I have.
The $10,000, where are we going with this?
Well,
We're gonna have to wait till Thursday.
we're gonna have to wait till Thursday.
We're gonna have to tackle that on Monday.
Okay. 10K Safety
Did-
Committee.
The PD have that extra money
Safety
because they had offered to pay the whole.
May.
Well, I had a discussion with the interim town administrator, and I kind of understand what she's saying,
I don't
but
think it may be a good idea to do that. Do it to take it out of the budget.
well, it's one of those things like we didn't really plan on spending all this money because we thought we could take it out of the warrant article, but then
We couldn't.
when we couldn't, we like, because reality is, the fire stations are, something
Needs to be done.
and it's getting to, I'll say it this way, it's getting to a critical point that you can't stick your head in the sand anymore.
Right, so you need to be able to go forward with this, but is there an account you guys have that's specific to, and that the board has been given permission
Do
to
we have it?
purchase and sell?
We have the authority to purchase and sell land because that was approved at a town meeting several years ago.
But you have to actually, although you.
We don't have a line, I don't think we technically have a line for the purchase of land or sale for land.
Okay.
We don't.
Okay.
So that's a conversation that we'll have to resolve in the next couple of days, and if we can't do it, we can't do it. If we legally can't do it, we can't do it.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I don't wanna, if somebody's telling me there's no way we can
I
find
mean,
a
we
way.
can still go forward with the safety complex, it just means we don't have a deposit on that piece of land, which means we might not get that piece of land, because by the time it passes, that piece of land may be sold. That's
Was that
really-
Well,
piece
you
of-
said
was
that,
the
they
piece of
said
land
they would
sold?
hold, if we gave them the $10,000, they would hold it
So in
for us.
other words,
Is
if
it
we
actually
don't,
for sale now, or
Yes,
was
it's
it
for
at?
sale now.
Okay.
It's for sale, I can't talk about.
it's been for
the
sale for a
location.
while, I know where it
Yes,
is, but
we
it's been for
can't
sale for a while.
talk about that.
Alright, so anyways,
So,
mine,
so the $10,000 assures us that they won't sell it.
mine is I know you've been right out crazy, and this isn't really all that important, but have all the codes been given out for the gate so we can start using that now?
No,
Okay, and that's fine, because I know you've been, there's way more important things to do besides
let's just
that.
say 25 hours isn't what I'm giving.
No. There's-
And I'm
there's-
getting
really
tired.
appreciate your-
There's
I'm
more,
getting really
no, there's
tired.
more, there's more important things than that, so I'm not
I'm
concerned.
trying, I'm trying. I'm doing what I can in the matter of 30 to 40 hours, but when I'm coming in on Saturdays and I'm here,
Overwhelmed.
I'm getting, yeah, it's just not exactly the
You'd be
way
happy to leave us.
I am. I adore all of you, but this is, it's, the
She's never
town's,
gonna talk to me.
the town's.
You
a
lost a
little-
friend now.
Yeah. It's, because what's happening is you have so much personnel stuff that's going on that I'm, just in that in a week is a lot of hours. There's a lot going on
This
here.
goes, and then my next one is This goes for all the committees. I know there's several committees that have had meetings that, this goes back to the posting, that haven't been posted properly. I know there was a meeting tonight that
Oh,
was.
there's a lot, but we don't want to get into that until we get into a public, non-public. There's a lot of things that need
All right, so let's
improvement.
move on. We can go on to non-public then, because there's nobody here for citizens forum, so I don't even need to hit that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all we got to wait till 9:30.
Let's go to non-public.
non-public, and we have all this to go
Make a
through.
motion to go into non-public under 91, sorry.
A, B, C, D,
A,
E,
B,
F,
C,
G,
A, B, C.
Yeah.
Should I put E again?
Yes,
Hit E.
F.
please.
Is there enough?
Might as well be.
Second.
Roll call,
Yes,
Donald Hudson, aye.
Scott Pryor, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
We're now non-public. Gary?
I'd like to make a motion to make a conditional
We gotta
offer.
come out of non-public
Oh, I'm
first.
sorry, you're right. What's his resume?
We gotta come out of non-public first.
Okay. I make a motion to come out of non-public.
Second.
Roll call.
Donald Hudson, aye.
Scott Pryor, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
I'd like to make a motion to
Okay.
seal the minutes.
Second.
You're not going to use names, right,
Any,
Scott?
any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to allow the interim town administrator to make a potential offer or inquiry to a candidate for the town administrator position, offering a starting salary of $72,000 and to
12%.
and whatever the rate is for the state,
Excuse me.
not to exceed 12% for, to go into a retirement plan other than the New Hampshire retirement system, as long as that's legally feasible under the new statutes of the state of New Hampshire, because they passed legislation recently about the retirement system, but just to make sure that we can legally do that.
Correct.
But I make that motion to offer a tentative offer for negotiation purposes.
Conditional on
It's
background
called
check.
a
and
conditional offer.
Conditional offer, and the conditional offer is contingent on a successful full background check, including fingerprints and a motor vehicle record check. Conditional offer. Should I say something about that if he accepts that, he can start pending his... I think I should add that to the motion.
You're saying,
Well,
well, let's just do right now it's a conditional.
let's do a
offer.
conditional job
It's kind of a
offer.
negotiation,
Yeah.
and then we'll finalize
Any
Monday.
discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
I didn't mention your name.
Thank you. So what we do is we do candidates number 1, 2, and 3, and I brought forward candidate 1, and that's who you're given a conditional offer to, so you never use people's names.
We're gonna, and then now you need to make a motion to accept the.
I'd like to accept the resignation of Sharon DeLuca.
Yep.
So moved.
With regret.
Sure.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thanks for adding the and regret. I forgot to do that.
Wish her the best of luck.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
As a board, do you feel like we should wait until the new town administrator comes on to post that position, or do you want to post it now?
Can we have a little discussion?
So that's what we're having right now?
I assume that,
Sounds like I need to repost like 5 positions right now, right?
yeah, I gotta tell you the truth, I'm not,
I'm okay with waiting.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm
wanna
just
say
saying,
this.
I'm just trying to
I
get the
deeply
idea.
care about recreation. However, we have a lot of pending issues going right now, and while I really devotedly believe in recreation, how we should offer it to townspeople, that is not what I would call critical issue, considering all the other issues we're dealing with right
So
now.
we're gonna have the rec committee run it for now? Is that what you're suggesting?
And as-
Yeah, I'm saying that right now, if the rec commission wants to take more of a leadership role with recreation, I will support them. But we really, at this juncture, we're not gonna be able to get somebody in time for the holiday stuff. So if they wanna go forward, that they're gonna have to take the lead on it. And I do wanna make it, and I'm not trying to be mean-spirited or anything, I wanna make it clear that, our interim town administrator does not have the time to work. She's only here for 25 hours a week. You know, her contract was for 25 hours a week, and I need her, we need her to take care of the problems that are gonna have we gotta do a risk management assessment, and we gotta deal with the problems that's gonna give us the
Just
most,
the daily running.
the daily running of the town.
The personnel, the budget, the tax rate setting, the tax warrant, all those
I
types of
think
things.
we can wait
which is
until
what
we
we're
have
agreeing to.
the
I'm
new
okay with the
TA.
new TA, wait.
As long as
for the
we,
TA.
let the commission know that
If they wanna take a
they have
bigger
our
role.
support in taking, in rolling with it.
Yeah,
and then-
I'm assuming, again, I'm assuming that there was an individual here tonight that wanted to discuss recreation. And,
Oh, we didn't talk about one thing in non-public.
I know, we need to, I just thought of it too. So there is someone who's shown an interest in the road agent position that would like to meet with the Board of Selectmen.
We just have him come in on Monday with
Can you come in a non-public?
Pete, because Pete wants to be a part of it.
Sure.
Just make it quick,
Yep, I can do that.
and then we can just discuss it. Unfortunately, you'll have to sit out.
We're in public, so,
No, it's in non-public, she'll have to sit
yeah,
out.
I know, but
No, so no more.
Oh,
he's telling you can't talk about it.
no, that's fine.
you're good, right?
Yeah.
Pete and John, oh. So tough.
That's
Wow.
all right.
I just did the same
Smith.
thing. Smith, yes, yes.
All right.
You can tell I'm tired?
John Boy?
Yes.
No, that's all right. All right, make the motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is it really 10:30?